your phone. They will not think that you're studying, but they'll think that you're doing something else. So you just gotta, be mindful of your surroundings while you're doing that. But I'm just saying that those are one ways that you can do. You have computers at your job as well. You can always just be at your job, maybe screw down your computer, just open Google, search something, and you can just read through. That's how you get the understanding of it. But it's just about like time management, as Jera said. Me also, when I was doing it, I was in university. I was doing computer programming when me and him was studying this course. I was doing computer programming. That I have every day. I have a homework of JavaScripting. I have a scripting homework every evening that I have to be submitted. It has to be submitted the next day. Then I was taking the same class as well. When I say for computer programming, the homework was not like, oh, answer define this and define that. No, it was a script that you have to write a script. And if you write the script, it doesn't work. You have to figure it that night to submit it the next day in the morning. That same night to be reviewed the next day in the morning. So I had to do that and also attend this class. So sometimes I got to a point where I felt like I wanted to back off, but you just gotta keep it in your mind state, like push forward, push forward. You've put money in this, you've put money in this. Always put that mindset that okay, I want to keep going forward no matter what comes. There's always gonna be downfalls. You're
Yeah,
always gonna have
but
that downfall. So fight away from it.
yeah, but
And
the thing is, like Fitz said, at some point it's gonna get easier, and the only way it gets easier is if you're actually doing the work, but you need to create that time.
yep,
You need to create time, and I know it's not easy. It's like what you're saying. You're describing what all of us are going through. Like I just give you my story, right? So sometimes I don't even know how I do it, and in the midst of all this, sometimes my wife feels like I don't even give enough time to her and the kids. That you're always on your computer. No, you're always on your computer. I'm like, yeah, if I'm not on my computer, then how are we gonna eat? So
I've been there. I've been there too.
so my best friend is my computer. Yes, my computer is I'm kind of married to my wife and my computer at the same time. So you have to have that in your mind. That's it has to be like that. And at some point, I'll give you applications that you install on your phone, right? Linux applications, AWS applications that are like question and answer based on everything we are doing. So even if you find yourself in a party or something with a mix of friends, I can say when friends meet and socialize, let's say first 15 or 20 minutes, they're excited to meet each other, salutations and all that. But when they settle down, you realize that everybody's on their phone, right? Yes, while you're on your phone, you'll be going through those applications. And while you are taking down the alcohol and enjoying with your friends, you are studying Linux. you're just going through commands, right? And you put the phone down and you still drink and dance, but you are doing something. You're not losing time. So use all those tricks. So we're not gonna be losing time because okay, even when you're at work, if you had, I don't know what everyone does, but I believe there's a way you can always be on your phone at work. I don't know some people, depending on their workplace, they'll kind of restrict them. Hey, but I think those things have been relaxed with the COVID and all that. And despite being in a workplace that is strict, you can still be on your phone if you want to be on your phone. We all do that. So you can go somewhere, just look at your phone real quick. Think about what is storage, how does storage differentiate from memory, and oh, okay, it's back. Because one thing you'll be doing in this class too is sitting at home and asking yourself questions. Okay, what is the command to check IP address? If it doesn't come, if you don't know it in your head, then you have to start asking yourself like, okay, I don't know this command. I'm supposed to know it. You know. So always think about stuff that we learn. Please don't finish class on Sunday and say I will find time during the week. I will find time. You will never find that time. So it's gonna be a process, guys. But don't worry, you guys will get acquainted with it. You get comfortable. But it all starts with finding that time, self-discipline, and above all, tenacity. Tenacity. Don't give it up. Don't give up. It's not an option. But like Emeka was saying, it's always gonna get busy. It's never gonna be like, okay, it was busy. I work with business, family. Right now, it's not busy anymore. No, if you're saying it's busy from the first day, then it's gonna keep getting busy. And as the work keep going, By the time we get into Linux, AWS, you realize that there is a load. And then there's one thing too I also want to talk about, which is very important. What we're doing right now, Windows and networking. Guys, pay attention. Windows and networking, right? It is very, very important because I had a conversation with one or two students during the week. You know, I'm not going to call anyone's name. And the vibe I was getting was, okay, they are into the class because they want to learn Linux and they want to learn AWS. Someone said, it's really that AWS that I need. You know, the Linux and the Windows part, you know, I don't really care for.
You definitely need it.
So let me correct that. Every single thing we're doing is important. Why? Right now we're doing Windows and networking. Let me tell you why the Windows and networking skills are important. We can be done with cloud computing, right? And you get a job as an AWS cloud architect. But you are architecting for a company that they are running their infrastructure on
Windows.
Microsoft Azure. They have Windows platform, right? So everything on their cloud platform is Windows. And you are the AWS architect. And you didn't take the Windows part of this class serious because you felt like, hey, I
That's
don't
not
need
what
it.
I'm here for.
Then you're going to have a tough time at that place, a very, very tough time. Because some people think that cloud is a technology on its own. Let me tell you what cloud is. When you hear about cloud computing, we are talking about Windows. We are talking about networking. We are talking about Linux. We're talking about databases. We are talking about programming. We're talking about analytics. We're talking about all these different computer skills that are together and that are being brought together and they are hosted on the cloud. So you can go into that cloud platform and provision resources based on your company's needs. And if your company's needs are Windows, then you're going to be managing Windows on the cloud. So the Windows part of this course is very important because you don't know where you're going to find yourself. Okay? So don't think that Windows is different, Linux is different, and cloud computing is different. Cloud computing embodies everything. So if you're looking for a job as a cloud engineer, they're going to test you in Windows. They're going to test you in Linux. They're going to test you in networking. And then they're going to test you on the overall cloud skills. You know, on the cloud resources, like which resources have you used to provision what on the cloud based on what platform? You know, so I just wanted to send that out as a message, you know. And again, you could be working in an environment known as a hybrid environment. And let me tell you what a hybrid environment is. A hybrid environment is part cloud, part on-prem. It means they have an on-prem server room or data center that their resources are hosted on, that they have direct control on the on-prem infrastructure. And part of their infrastructure is on the cloud. So like my company is a hybrid, we have a hybrid environment. Part of our resources is on the cloud, part of the resources is on-prem. So sometimes you might have to go into your on-prem server room, to your on-prem data center. Are you gonna do stuff? You're gonna go change hard drives on servers. You're gonna go change power supplies. You're gonna go do like firmware update. You know, so that's why we're doing this hardware stuff right now. So you actually know what a computer looks like in and out. And sometimes you're also working in a company and you have to support internal users. See, you're in IT, you guys could have the accounting department, sales department, all those other departments. Who's going to be supporting them? You, as the IT person. Besides having your infrastructure that you are supporting external clients, you support internal clients too. So someone in HR might call you that my computer is not working. And they send it to the IT department and you have to fix it. And you are not taking this first part of the class serious, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah,
You know,
all this first part that we're doing right now is just like more like troubleshooting, like computer 101, as I said. It's like troubleshooting, detecting errors within the company. But now when we go into like the networking part and Linux part, that's when I start doing like cloud computing and start managing external vendors and stuff like that from your company.
Yeah. So any question on what I just said before I hand over to Kingsley to serve us the food for today? Emeka, you always ask smart questions. So ask one.
I have a comment though.
Okay, go ahead.
So you say that Kingsley is going to be the server today, right?
He's gonna do what?
The
He's going to
server.
be the server.
I'm serving you food.
He's
The
serving us
knowledge
food
for
That,
today.
today.
The knowledge
so
for today.
that's
What he
what a
has for
server is,
us.
right?
I don't know what he has for us today, but I'm ready to
No,
consume.
I'm saying, is that what a server is?
A
The
server is kind of
server,
like that.
that's
Yeah,
part
he's
of
trying
your
to get
homework. So I'm not gonna tell you the answer.
the homework. We'll come back to the
But
homework.
I did
Maybe
answer that question on the in the Wednesday
No,
class.
no,
So
I'm saying that since Kingsley is going to be serving us, he's going to be our server.
exactly, and then we're gonna be clients, right?
yeah, that
Yeah,
means you
client
you
Clients
server.
you
connect to the server,
you have
right?
requested your
So
command, so now I'm serving you. You just requested a
Yeah,
command from me, so
yes.
I have to deliver.
yeah, so Kingsley, go ahead and
All right, thank you,
serve
Jared.
our request for today.
So today actually we're gonna be doing memory. I know Charles will be taking you guys beginning either next week or maybe tomorrow, starting networking. I believe so, right?
Now tomorrow I will start the. I had a conversation with Charles, so
Okay.
I will start the hardware part of networking, like
All right. Like
switches,
installation, yeah.
routers, access points.
Then installation too. They have to do the installation of like the VMwares and all the
Yeah,
other stuff.
I wanted us to. I don't know, Kingsley, if you have time today. I wanted us to install how many
Yeah,
applications today? One,
yeah.
two, three, four, five, six, seven. I wanted
I
us to
mean,
install 8 applications today.
the last thing we have today right now to cover right from last week, we actually have memory part. We have to cover memory today and storages, because those are one of the most important things that you guys have to know about since we started talking about it. Like we've been talking about memories for the past couple of weeks and stuff, but we're gonna go detailedly into it so you guys can get the understanding of like the type of memories we have, type of storages. Go ahead.
Yeah. I saw something online on UEIF relating to BIOS, like it's the new updated kind of BIOS or CMOS battery. But I really want to know more about it. Is that what is being used now?
It is.
UFR is the new is the new replacement based on the new machines that are coming out right now.
Yeah.
Before they had BIOS on older machines, but right now they go by the UFR Universal. I've forgotten the entire meaning. It's too long for me. But some machines are still gonna have BIOS, while some machines are UFI machines.
The older machines are gonna still have BIOS, and the newer machines, since they are going hybrid right now, they're going embedded, like integrated. When I talk about integration, that means like everything is going to little chips. So that's why they're trying to make it as small as possible so it can fit into like a tiny, teeny, flat laptop that you can see. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do integration. It's the same. It does the same thing, the same function, but the only difference is just the sizes and the look. That's the only difference you would tell, because they're trying to integrate everything into small chips. So that's pretty much just the difference. But it might be in a sense that there might be a little bit like little differences, like, oh, the battery can last longer than the older models, because since it's a newer generation of machines, they're trying to make for possibly a possible way that it can carry like a last long power and data for that long time. That's just what they're trying to do. But all right, let's go into first of all, I'm gonna start. Anybody understand what you guys all know what is a memory, right? Can someone just give me a definition of what he understands by a memory? I'm gonna start with memory first before we go to storage. Let me see. Who can I pick? Let's go back to our regular routine. Let's do Ola. Can you help us with like your understanding of a memory?
You want us to answer the assignments now?
No, it's not. This is not an assignment. We're not doing the assignment right now. We have a whole lot to cover today before we can probably do the assignment maybe beginning tomorrow but I'm just asking because our topic today is memory and storages.
Oh, okay. It was one of the assignment topics. I didn't answer
Yeah,
it very well, but
I know. I
okay.
gave it purposely because of that, because of because of today.
Oh, well. To the best of my
I'm
knowledge,
sorry.
I think.
Sorry, Ola. Excuse me. I just have a quick. I just want to address something to Kingsley. I don't know. It's just a suggestion. Since we limited on time, we're talking about time. We have a lot to cover. I
Yeah.
was just thinking that if there was a question to be asked, that question could be asked to everybody, like on the floor. And if somebody knows the answer, that person can probably, unmute himself and answer it so that everybody can pick up rather than, pinpointing someone to answer. It looks like it takes a lot of time because if you point out somebody and he doesn't know the answer, he's going to spend a lot of time there and, we're not going to move forward because with time
Right.
managed. That's
Time
just my
consistent.
suggestion. Yeah, I just say if you ask a question, anybody in the class knows the answer, just unmute yourself or put your hands like Fed did and just answer it so that all the rest can grasp it and then we just move forward. So
I mean,
that's my
that makes sense too, because we're time consistent right now, and we're running back on a little bit. Thank you, Jude, Mr. Jude.
The
And
only catch I have about that is we'll have some people in the class that will never talk. And I think that's one of the reasons why they keep calling people. But
I mean,
the thing is,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
thing about the class is we want to be interactive, right? We want everybody to be engaged. We want everybody to be part of it, because I don't want to be like there is one or two people in class that are always talking, and then there are some people that feel forgotten, or there are some people that feel like
feel
okay,
left out.
yeah. So once in a while, we'll still ask questions to people. Like if I call out somebody to answer a question, it will be something that I've covered in class. I'm not just gonna come tomorrow and say, Jude, what is Linux? I've never talked about Linux in class or covered Linux. But if I'm talking about storage, we've covered storage, and at least everyone in class should be able to answer a question
That
like
question.
that. But if it's something that we haven't discussed in class, I'll go by what Jude said. Hey, what is Linux? Anyone can give a try. I leave it open, right? And if it's something that I'm expecting you to know already, then hey, I'll call you and say, okay, tell me, because I'm trying to get your understanding.
Right.
And if you're not telling me, then it's like, okay, either you're not studying or you didn't understand it. That's how I will know if, because you can ask a question, everybody stays quiet. But some people know, or you can assume that they know, but they don't know. But again, that's a very good suggestion, Mr. Jude, and we'll go by that.
As
But
well,
we
yeah.
want to also be conscious of time. So Kingsley,
I
change
mean,
the gear.
let me change. Yeah, I'll change the frequency now. I mean, let me give you okay. Let's rephrase that question back, because I know all of you. It was in the homework as well. If you did the homework, you should know the answer. Can anyone? Okay, let me give it as an open question. Can anyone then give me an example, like a brief definition of a memory?
I'll still go ahead and try to answer anyway because I've
Go
been
ahead.
cracking my head since.
Go ahead.
It's a temporary storage like RAM, where you load applications when the computer is working, and you lose everything on that memory once you shut down. I might be wrong, but that's really what I wrote down on my assignment anyway. So
No, nobody's is wrong. Nobody's answer is wrong here. Anybody else want to give a try before we continue?
I would say a computer memory is like a physical device just to store information temporarily. Like, that's a way I keep it short of my answers. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's something to add again, Kingsley.
So let's take it this way. Computer memory could be like your brain. Let's just take it that way. Computer memory is like your brain. It takes information, process them, and instructs them to where it's supposed to go in a temporal basis. Let's just take it that way. That's what a computer memory is. It does not store information for a long-lasting time, but it just takes the information, process it, and hold it for a couple of times. And we have a different types of memories. There's cache memory. Actually, there's three types. We have cache memory. We have the primary memory, or you can call it the main memory. And we also have the secondary memory. I hope you guys are taking down notes. And we have the
can you
cache.
repeat that?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, we have three
what's the
types.
second one?
The first one, we have cache memory. The second type is primary memory, or you can call it the main memory. Then the third one we have is the secondary memory. And the cache memory in all of them is one of the fastest and is the one that we mostly use today, which cache memory can be, it can be as a typical example of a RAM. Because RAM, there's two actually ones that we know, the RAM and the ROM. RAM, which stands for random access memory, which you guys have seen. Then we also have a ROM, which is a read-only memory. And we'll start with a ROM. It can also be called a BIOS, as you guys have heard also before. ROM is also called a BIOS. And with the ROM is embedded on a motherboard. It is not a removable, it's not like a hardware that you can swap at any time. It's like a chip that is embedded on the motherboard of a computer. And a ROMs are non-volatile. What I mean by non-volatile, it means there's a difference between volatility and non-volatility. So let me just give you a clear example, a clear definition of those two, of volatile and non-volatile. So for volatile memories are memories that stores information just temporary. That means, that being said, if you power off the computer for a volatile memory, whatever that was stored in that memory is going to be wiped out. It's going to be deleted. That's for volatile memory. An example of a volatile memory is a RAM. That's a random access memory. That's an example of a volatile memory. And for the non-volatile memory now, which comes in place, which is a ROM, non-volatile memories are memories that holds information, even if the computer is powered off, the information still stays there. And an example of that, as we said, you can call a ROM can still be, is the same as a BIOS. Because BIOS holds information after, even when the computer is shut down, the information still stays there. That's why we call it the BIOS, or you can call it the ROM. The reason why it holds this information is because of that CMOS battery that you have on the computer.
Senior
That is not,
Kingley,
yes.
I'm sorry. Is it that it looks like I'm a little bit confused? Could you please explain the volatile and the non-volatile again?
So yeah.
That the RAM is the volatile or the non-volatile, please?
RAM is volatile. And ROM is non-volatile.
It stores information for a longer time or permanently.
ROM stores information. That is the one that's non-volatile. So
Right.
if you put non-volatile, just put it in bracket next to it, ROM. Then you put, volatile is RAM. Okay. Non-volatile is ROM. Okay. That's the difference. Okay. And for volatile memory, a volatile memory stores information temporarily. Okay. Okay. That being said, if the computer is powered off, the information that was stored in that volatile memory is wiped off. It's deleted. That means if you reboot that machine and it comes back on, that information that you saved in there is gone. But whereas, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. So USB that we use to like save files and save documents, are those considered, what is it?
Those are just storage.
Those are storage. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And you can also call it a non-volatile memory because it stores the information and you have it there in a chip. You can access it anytime. But RAM stores it temporarily. That's why I said temporarily. It's just a temporary storage for information. You want to check that, Jared? Just give me a second here. I'm just trying to pull. And I can give you the differences between the volatile memories, if you guys want to write this down, differences between volatile memories and non-volatiles. So one, first of all, volatile memories are the type of memory which data is lost when the computer is powered off. That's for volatile memory. And a non-volatile memory is the one that still has the information remains stored on it, even after when the computer is shut off. Then we have the volatile memories. They are faster than non-volatile memories. Volatile memories, they store information temporarily, why non-volatile, they store information permanently.
Excuse me, why are volatile memories faster than non-volatile?
Volatile memories are faster than non-volatile because why? They process information there and then, immediately. That's the reason, that's more of like one of the reasons why it's faster, because it has to process information when you send in a request. It processes immediately and give it the information, give you a solution right there. While for non-volatile, it can save the information there forever. It's just there just to save. That's why we took an example to be a BIOS. BIOS, because when you set configuration on your computer, that information stores there permanently. That's a non-volatile memory. It stores there permanently. It doesn't go anywhere. But whereas with the RAM, when you store information, it just stored it right there when you, let's say, for instance, you're processing information on your computer at that moment. It does, that's what it does. It has to be faster and give you the information and result right there and then when you send in a request. Emeka, go ahead with your question.
So is a RAM kind of like a hybrid? Because the reason I'm asking is you said that RAM is a volatile memory, right? And you said it will hold information even if the system is down, like the BIOS.
Not RAM, that's ROM.
That's ROM.
ROM holds information even after when the computer is shut off.
Okay.
Yeah, just to clarify that. But RAM stores information temporarily. That means it doesn't last long.
Okay, so ROM is the one that stores the information. Okay.
Even when the computer is shut off, it still holds the information.
Okay. Got it. Clarifies my misunderstanding. Thank you very much.
And with RAM can read and write. That's why they call it random access memory. It can read and write informations. And it can also process information right there. But whereas with ROM doesn't process information, that means volatile, non-volatile memories. Because I'm giving you now differences of the non-volatile and volatile memories. Let me know when you guys are ready. And for ROM,
could you use an example for like ROM and RAM?
I just gave you one. The BIOS. The BIOS is an example of a ROM. And then you guys know all about like memory sticks, right? The memory sticks from a laptop, from a computer or laptop. I don't know if I have one here. Let me just show you an example of the differences. Let's go here. Just give me a sec. Gerard, can you make me co-host, please? All right, let me just share my screen here. So this is an example of, one second, let me just minimize this. So this is an example of a RAM right here. This chipset, it always holds information temporarily. This is the one that's called RAM. It holds information just temporarily. Whereas if you look, there should be ROM, like example, which is like the BIOS. BIOS is just like it's a chip that's embedded on your computer. It's not like the RAM. So it's actually a chip, like a chipset, like one of these little chipset that's stuck on this RAM, but it's on your motherboard. That's a chipset that's embedded in your motherboard. And with this RAM, the RAMs here, they have direct access. They have direct access to data and information to the processor to process it. Whereas the ROM does not have direct access to process information. And RAMs also, they are more costly per unit. RAMs are very costly. You can see example of this one. It's like $480 just for this RAM stick. So they're more costly because they're more faster too as well. And with RAMs, they have less storage capacity. So RAM has less storage capacity, while ROM, it has more storage capacity. Sorry. So those are just some of the examples of volatile and non-volatile memories. I'm just gonna stop the sharing for a second. And then anybody can give me an example of a storage. I mean, just give me a brief description of a storage if you know. What is a storage?
Storage is like the hard disk drive, solid state drive, for longer term storage of materials. Basically, that's where we write things when we store things on our computer.
Yeah, that's kind of true. So it's actually yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think storage is storage in a computer is a piece of hardware that stores data and information into a computer
For a longer process of time.
for a longer period of time. Yeah.
Yeah. And that information that stores on a storage device can always be retrieved at any time. Like what Emeka said earlier, like your USB stick. Your USB stick can be a storage device. You have external hard drive. These are also storage devices. You have a hard drive in your laptop. It's also storage device. We also have what example can I use? But I mean, those are just some of the examples that we know that we deal with every day. We can see them every day. Those are some of the examples. What do they call a micro USB stick, a USB chip? I don't know if I have one here. Like you know what a memory card is, like the little chips that we put in cell phones and stuff. That's also like it's also like a storage device. You can use that also like a storage device. Those are just some of the examples. But let's go back now to memory, since we're talking about the three types of memory memories that we have. We have cache memory, we have the primary or the main memory, and we also have the secondary memory. So cache memory, as I just gave you guys an example. Cache memories are very high speed secondary memories, which can speed up CPUs. Those are just secondary memories that can speed up CPUs, and they only deal with speed. They are more speed and processing. They're no more of like storage. They work more with like the speed of the computer and the processes of a computer.
Kingsley.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the RAM and the ROM, which type of memory is it? Is it secondary, primary, or the cache, or it's
RAM will fall under the cache. RAM will fall under cache memory because it deals more with processes and speed. It does not have anything like, when I was giving you guys examples of the definition, the non-volatile and volatile memories. When I was giving you guys the differences, you heard when I said volatile memories, which has to do with RAM, it deals more with processes and speed. It does not have anything to do with storage. So it only stores something temporarily. That means it deals more with speed. But while ROM deals more with like storages.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, are you saying that that RAM is a cache memory?
Yes.
Okay.
RAM can be also a cache memory. Because if you hear the definition of a cache memory, it's very high in speed. And it's a semi-conductor memory that can speed up the CPU. And it also acts the same. It acts the same like what they call a buffer. You all know what a buffer is, right? It acts like a buffer between the processor and the main memory. So it buffs up like the speed. That means it increases the speed of the processor as well. That's just pretty much what a cache can also be. And we have some advantages of cache memories. The cache memory is faster than main memory. It consumes less access time and compared to main memory. It stores programs and can also execute with a short period of time. That was what I was just saying here. That means it only holds information just for a short period of time. And it processes that information as what Jarvis asked earlier, like, is this like more of like speed wise, or is it like more storage? It's more of like speed wise. And it doesn't stop once that computer is turned off, all the information that was held in that RAM is gone, or in the cache memory. That's why they call it a cache. Sometimes if you see on your phone, it will tell you clear the cache. That's when your phone is still off. If you don't clear the cache, if you don't want to clear the cache at that same moment, you can just power off your phone. That also is another way of clearing the cache memory. If you power off your cell phone, it clears all your cache memory that you had in your computer, your phone, or your electronic device as a temporary. That's just one of the advantages of it. And we also said earlier that it stores data for temporarily. And for disadvantages of a cache memory, it has limited capacity. That's one of the disadvantages. And it's very expensive. As you guys saw, I showed you guys an example there, it was like $480 just for that one chipset. So those are memories that, I mean, companies can always handle, and they use this and stuff like that. And then now the primary memory, which is like the main memory, it holds information, data, and instruction on which computer is currently working on. That means if you're currently working on the Microsoft document and stuff, and you keep saying, you see there, when you see how it always says autosave, it is saved temporarily that moment in your RAM. That is where that information is saved. Let's say if you're working on a Word document, you're typing on your Word document, and when you leave, as soon as you stop typing on that Word document, if your autosave on your Word document is on, it will say there saving to draft, or it's saving your work. That's what is called temporarily save. But if that computer shuts off while that information is still there, you come back, it's not going to be saved. It's not going to be there because it was just saved temporarily. That's what I was just reading a message from my computer. So primary, excuse me 1 second. I just got to take this. Sorry, that was my mom. Sorry for the interruption. All right, where were we? Primary memory. So some of the characteristics of a primary memory is that it is a semiconductor memories. These are semiconductor memories. That means semiconductor means what they have like chipsets on them. Like you should be very careful when touching them. Let's say if you're trying to get one off a computer. As an example, as I showed you guys earlier, let me see. These are examples of semiconductors. So like primary memories are almost they're like this too as well. If you're trying to get this off a computer, you want to make sure you look for, because I know when I was doing hardware maintenance, they taught us, like, if you want to get any chipset out of your laptop, your computer that has open semiconductors like this, you always want to probably like touch a piece of metal just to get electrostatic shocks off your hand, because that little current on your hand, if you touch this chipset with it, it can fry that chipset. When I said fry the chipset, is that it can kill it, because just small electric power that's coming, static shocks that's coming out of your body, can make this memory card to not be functioning anymore. So you always want to make sure before you even get remove a memory stick from a laptop, a computer, a powered desktop, or whatever device you're taking it out of, you make sure you want to like maybe touch a bare metal or something, just touch it, even though you won't feel nothing, but you just want to touch it because you're trying to discharge yourself, the electric shocks that are in your body. You're trying to get rid of that electric shocks before you touch this chipset, because once you touch it with without even you discharging yourself, the electric shock from yourself, you can automatically transfer electric current from your body into this chipset, which is going to be like, you're short circuiting the chipset. And when you do that, it's going to send electric current into it that can fry some of this little what they call them again, chipsets that you have on it. So those are some of the things that you should just take note of when you're trying to get a device out of. And with the newer laptops that we have nowadays, as I showed you guys earlier, the hard drive also looks the same like that. You see a hard drive that looks the same like a RAM stick. So you got to be very careful when you're taking those out of a laptop or a computer, because you don't want to touch it. And if you touch it, you fried it. You might take something out the next minute, you put it back in the computer, it doesn't work anymore. But you'll be like, oh, it was working 2 seconds ago, but you didn't know what just happened. That is what causes it to die, to kill the memory. So another characteristics for primary memory is that they usually they're volatile memories, as I said earlier. It's known to be the main memory, and a computer cannot run without one. A computer cannot run without the primary memory, because why? If you turn on the computer, it's just going to give you a black screen. Those are some of the troubleshooting steps that you should know. If you turn on the computer and you don't see the boot up desktop, sometimes you hear beeps. You can hear like there's 2 straight beeps. It will make beep, beep, beep. All those beeps, they're different indications. I know some, we're not going to go into that because that's another whole topic on its own, to learn how to tell the difference between those beeps. Some of those beeps can be a hard drive failure, somebody can be a RAM failure, or somebody can be a display failure. So those beeps, they have different functions. But the main thing that you can tell is that you will not have any display on the screen. Your laptop screen won't even boot up. Those are one of the things. And when you see your laptop screen doesn't boot up, one of the things that you want to check also, the memory sticks. You want to check if that laptop has memory in it. If it has a memory sticks in it, swap the memory stick. That might solve your solution. It can be the memory sticks. It can be the network card. The display port or something like that. That doesn't give you a display. It might be a chipset is bad. But the first thing that you always want to check should be the primary memory. You should check if that laptop or that computer has a primary memory in it, because that's what will cause your computer, first things first, not to boot up. That's why it says a computer cannot run without a primary stick memory. It will not run without it. If you want, try it one day. Take off your memory stick out of the RAM out of the laptop, power it on. You're gonna hear sound. It's gonna boot up, but you're not gonna see any display, and it's just gonna sit there like that with black screen forever until you put back that primary memory. So those are one of the characteristics of a primary memory. And it's faster than the secondary memory. That's another thing, because it processes information.
Kingsley, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask the question to the class, right? So Kingsley just said, if you go into your laptop and you take out the memory stick and you try to boot up the computer, it's not gonna boot up, right? Can someone explain to me why the boot up process will fail if the computer doesn't have memory or it lacks enough memory? Who can tell me why? Bafo, go ahead.
Yeah, so during the boot up process, the operating system is loaded onto the RAM. So if you don't have any RAM, when it gets there, the computer will not proceed with the boot up process because there's no RAM.
Excellent, wonderful. So if a customer brings their laptop to you and they say, I don't know what is wrong with my laptop, and you take it and you boot it up and you see that it doesn't boot to completion,
sorry,
the boot up process is failing because of RAM, I hope you'll be able to determine that it is a RAM issue and fix it, right? Because it's gonna hang, like Kingsley said. The boot up process is not gonna go all the way.
It's not gonna go
end.
from there, yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna hang, and it's gonna tell you memory not found.
That's why they said the primary memory is one of the key. As I said, the computer will not run. So that's one of the part of the boot up process is the RAM. That's why it's called the primary memory. It's part of the boot up process because it goes from the first one, and when it reaches to where the RAM is, It doesn't find one, it stops there. It just stay there and it's not going to go anywhere until you put one in. So let's say, okay, you start up the boot up process and the machine doesn't have a hard drive. It's going to go through, get to the point of the RAM. It sees that there's a RAM in the machine. It goes now to the next point. And when it gets to the point where there's a hard drive and it cannot find no hard drive in the computer, you're going to see an error message on your screen that operating system could not be found. Operating system could not be found. That being said, you don't have a hard drive in that machine, because where is your operating system being stored? In your hard drive, right?
Your hard drive.
So if there's no hard drive in that machine, that means there's no operating system in that machine. The machine will never boot up as well. So those are some of the things that you gotta take note of, like when you're doing like just physical troubleshooting without even you start going to like digging things into the computer. You always want to find out to know the error message that you're seeing first. If there's no error message, that's when you start thinking about display and memory card and hard drive to make sure they're in there.
Yeah, just to further comment on that, as IT professionals, you have to be strong with reading error messages.
Error messages.
Because if you tell me something is not working, or if a client tells you something is not working, the first thing you're gonna do is, what is the error message? What error are you getting? That's where everything begins. That's where troubleshooting begins, right? There must be an error message. You can't just, someone cannot tell you, hey, I cannot connect to the internet, or I'm typing this command, it's not working. Even when we start Linux, you're gonna see it. If you run a command and it doesn't work, it will display some message on your screen. And that is what, as an IT technician, you're focusing on, the error message. And sometimes to get the answer, take that error message and Google it. It's going to tell you exactly what, even if you don't understand what it's saying, just copy the error message, put it in Google. Error 404, for example. Google is going to tell you exactly what that error message is and how to solve it. So make it a habit. It is a skill that you must know, reading error messages. You don't call people and say, okay, what is happening? Or your computer cannot boot up. It might be this or it might be that. Before you start pinpointing and say it is this or it is that, there must be an error message that you're working with. If there is no RAM, it will tell you. It might not tell you exactly RAM missing. It might just throw an error message and they'll write a long sentence, zeros and ones, and then they'll write something at the end. Copy that error message. Google it. It's going to tell you exactly what it means.
Another thing too, when you're at your work, just to add to what Gerard said, if somebody just come to you like, oh, my machine is not working, or this, I'm trying to do this, I cannot get this. First question you always ask them, what is the error message you're getting? That's how you start your troubleshooting step. With any person asking you like, oh, I'm trying to save this document, the document is not saving. It might be that that person doesn't have a permission to save that document, or I'm trying to edit this document, it does not edit. First things first, because there's always going to be an error message. It's going to tell you that, it's going to give you a small square box with an error message in it. Always ask them, what is the error message you're getting? If there's no error message, that's when you want to ask them, okay, you want to go now to the computer itself and check and really look at what is going on there. There's always going to be an error message on the computer when you're troubleshooting, or when somebody's having an error, trouble doing something. And another thing too about the primary memory too that you got to know is that any information data is always lost as soon as the computer is powered off. As I told you guys earlier, if you power off a computer, any information that was stored on that was processing on that RAM is going to go away. And for secondary memories can also be, as we talked about earlier about secondary memories, it can also be an extended memory, and it's also known to be a non-volatile memory. Those are secondary memory. Examples of secondary memories: we have a CD-ROM, we have a DVD. Those are also non-volatile memories. You can store information on there forever. It can be there forever. It's not going to go anywhere. You have the hard drive. What else? You guys know about the diskette back in the days when in the 90s, the old computers that used to use the diskette. I don't know if you can recognize one. Those old diskettes. Let me just pull up one so if somebody that doesn't know, you can see actually how it looks like. I know when I started doing computing, that's where we're storing all information. I had like 550 diskettes in my house. Let me see if I can pull up one. I'm just trying to find one here. Okay, I found the best one. Hold on, let me just share this with you guys. See exactly how this looks. So this is what a diskette used to look like. This is also a non-volatile memory. This one, they used to use them back in the days. You have another one that looks like this. This is one of the other types. These ones were mostly used for IBM PCs, like one of those servers and stuff like that. Back in the 90s, this is what they used to use. I used to have like this, just because I was trying to save my information when I was back in school. That was like maybe around like 2004, when I was still doing computer hardware maintenance, just to store application. You can have, each one can store one application. Each one can store one application because they're not big in size. So I used to have like this pile of them, like 50 of them, all application. Each one is labeled with this application. And one other thing is that you cannot store operating system on one of those diskettes. You can never store operating system on it. It's not going to even take it. It's just like you buying a 1 gig of RAM to store an operating system on it. It's not going to fit. It probably needs from like 18 to 16 or 20 gig of RAM. I mean, a USB stick, sorry, to store information, to store an operating system on. So that's what this case used to look like back in the days. Those are some examples of a secondary memory that you can find. A hard drive too is also a secondary memory. You have external hard drive, which I showed you guys one last week. This is one that I have right here. This is also my my external hard drive that I have. This is also a non-volatile memory. I can carry it everywhere with me. It has all my information on it. I just save stuff on them. It's a non-volatile memory that you can also use. And some of the characteristics also for
Kingsley.
Yes.
Sorry, one quick question, please.
Go ahead.
So let's say if you store information on the cloud, can it be regarded as a secondary memory since it's an external storage?
That also can be a secondary memory, but when it's on the cloud, it also goes into it's also stored on a drive. That's why when we go into virtualization, you're going to know like cloud computing is all virtualization. They are all computers that are running somewhere, but on a virtual box, as Gerard showed you guys earlier, that he has like 15 or 50 of them in one virtual box. That's all what cloud computing is about. So you don't have to do with any hardware anymore, like physical devices. You don't deal with them anymore. All you just do is carry data from here, put it in that one. Yeah. That's it.
So the thing about cloud computing, Jonathan, is that some people hear cloud computing and they look at the sky and they look at clouds. They feel like maybe
that's the same thing here.
Maybe it's technology that is up there. You know, if you send data, it's going up there. No, we spoke about data centers on Wednesday, right? Data centers, that is where the cloud computing
is.
So any storage you are doing on the cloud is actually being saved in a data center somewhere. But what cloud computing does for you is that you don't have to deal with physical infrastructure.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with managing storage. You don't have to worry about my hard drive is getting full or my memory is getting full. Let me extend my memory. Because those computers there in the data centers are supercomputers.
They've already been built for that.
They have been built for business. Like you can ask for any amount of storage and you have it.
That's what Gerard said last week
about it's like consume and pay. That's the cloud concept. Consume and pay.
That's what Gerard said last week about
the fastest memory on earth. They'll have it available for you within minutes. They'll not tell you come back tomorrow. It will be available. The next 5 minutes, it's available for you to use.
That was why we're talking about servers last week. That we said one of those servers they can carry about 50 hard drives. They can carry about 50 memories, or 15 or 20 memories. They have like 3 or 4 power supplies, just because of those cloud computing. Because as Gerard said, you don't want to come. They will tell you like, oh, go come next week. Let's increase the memory of this machine. No. You don't have to physically be there. Let's say, okay, the data center is somewhere in Texas, and I'm working from here, and something fails in the data center. I have to drive from here to Texas to go change a device in there. So that's where cloud computing is all about. Like you sitting here, everything's already there, and there's always going to be a backup. There's no one system sitting there on its own. there's always going to be a cluster of the systems. Cluster means there's always going to be a backup of it.
Yeah.
Where if that system fails, it comes to the next one. You can always access the next one and life moves on.
Yeah.
That's just
So,
what. Yeah.
let me ask a question. Did everyone receive the document I sent on Wednesday? Because that's a very important piece of document. I sent it in the Slack. One person responded. And let's go back to what I said last week. Please, you need to be responsive each time I put out a message out there, or Kingsley puts out a message, or Charles. Please don't look at a message and act as if you didn't see it. I need to know that I need to actually know if you are receiving those messages. And if you don't respond, then how can I tell you got it? Please, it is a habit. Like even at work, when your boss puts up a message, you have to respond. Even if you guys are in a group, my boss puts up departmental messages. He puts up a message for the department. You cannot just see it and stay quiet. Otherwise, he's gonna feel like you didn't get it, or you got it, but you're busy doing something else. And that's how they measure performance. So this is a habit that we need to start cultivating. And like I said, if you don't have anything to type to, if you don't have any response to give, just give a thumbs up to acknowledge, right? Don't just look at the message and stay quiet. It makes me feel like either you're not getting it or you're ignoring it. And at work, that cannot happen. At work, that's why I said download Slack on your phone. So when the message is coming, you can see it. And even if you're busy, give a quick thumbs up for me to know that you actually got it.
My company
so
will use.
I did send out a document on last week with IT terminologies that you need to learn. I also differentiated between memory, between hard drive types on that document.
Yep.
And I also units of
bleed.
measurement. Let me just show you real quick in case because no one, I think like one person responded. Kingsley, let me just take over for a minute.
Go ahead. I'm not sharing anyways.
Okay. So, and today I was expecting that someone would ask a question about it, and no one said anything. So, which makes me feel like, did you guys actually get it? But let me just go to it real quick. Okay, right here. Everyone got this document, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, guys, all of these terminologies right here, you need to know them. You need to know them because we're gonna be, as the class is going forward and you're training as an IT professional, you're not gonna be hearing people pronouncing what in full. You're gonna be hearing a lot of this
short
these
abbreviations.
They'll talk about LAN, IP, UDP, ISO, RAM, SAN, NAS, SATA, VM, VPN. Those are the things you'll be hearing. And if you don't learn these things, guys, you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have trouble. So I think they are just some of them you're already familiar with them, a lot of them, but you need to know them because this is gonna be your future language in the IT world. There are a lot of them, but I just share this ones in the beginning for you to learn. So from tomorrow, if I ask you, Jarvis, who's your ISP, or Bismarck, who's your ISP, don't look at me and say, what is Gerald talking about? You should know that your ISP is the person that provides you your internet service provider. So you should either tell me Comcast, Verizon, or this is how it's going to be in the workplace. They're not going to be like, who is your internet provider? Who provides you internet? Where do you get your internet from? They will say, who is your ISP? Or call the company's ISP. Things like that. And then please know the difference between gigabit and gigabyte. They are not the same. You see, this one has a small b, this one has caps.
Uppercase. Yeah,
right? Know the difference between gigabit and gigabyte. They are not the same, right? Know what a NIC is. We're still gonna talk about NIC. Your NIC is your network interface card. Know what array is. Redundant array or independent. In fact, you need to know everything here, but some of them you are already familiar with them. We have GPS here, you have Wi-Fi. I know a lot of people didn't know what Wi-Fi meant, right? But today, it stands for wireless fidelity. So please go through this document, practice them, familiarize yourself with them. You need to know them. And then the next thing is the measuring unit. It's very, very important. Very, very important. If you understand this measuring unit right here, you're not going to go into a hardware store or to Best Buy or any computer store, and those salespeople come and confuse you. And they are saying all these things. Oh, you need a computer, you need 8 gigs. You are not sure. You need to understand this thing. Everything starts with a bit. The bit is the smallest unit in terms of storage. So, and this is how it goes from bits to bit, from bits to byte to kilobyte to megabyte to gigabyte to terabyte and to petabyte. So if you hear about terabytes or petabyte of storage, it means you're talking about huge, huge storage, right? Most of the computers that you buy will be either in gigs or in the storage will be in gigs or in terabytes, gigabytes or terabytes. But if you're going into a computer store and they want to sell you a machine that is say 500 megabytes and you are paying for that machine, then I don't think there's going to be a problem. Because anything you want to buy, you have to start measuring any storage that's in the machine from gigabytes and then to terabytes. But you should know the measuring unit. One makes what, you know. And then I went further to classify the computer types from desktop, laptop, server, and mobile portable computers, which includes the smartphones, watches, smartwatches, TVs, tablets, and all that. And the last thing I put here was the hard drives. Your hard drive got different types. And these are the 4 different types. SCSI, and if we go back up here, on Wednesday I said, please don't pronounce it SCSI. The pronunciation is SCSI. And if we go back up here, we're gonna find it somewhere. Let me see. I know I put it somewhere up here. Right here. That is it. So it is pronounced SCSI, please. So don't pronounce it SCSI. If you say SCSI, they're gonna know this is a newbie. They're gonna know you don't know shit about computers. So please, it is SCSI. So SCSI is one type of hard drive. And then you have IDE or ATA. So this is the complete meaning of IDE, integrated disk electronics. And then this is ATA, advanced technology attached. And then these are the SATA drives.
Mr. Jared?
Yes.
How about PATA? Is PATA still being used or?
No, I don't think there is PATA.
It's been phased out.
Yeah, it faded out.
It's been phased out. And then right here you have SAS drives. And an example of a SAS drive is the SSD. The important thing here is to know their transfer speeds, because every hard drive is going to transfer data at a different speed. The fastest hard drives out there are the SAS drives, which an SSD is the best example of a SAS drive, right? And the transfer speed of an SSD is 3 gigabytes per second. That is very, very fast as compared to these ones that they are transferring data in megabytes. Look at these megabytes. This 1 megabyte. But an SSD is transferring in gigabytes per second, which makes it very fast. So guys, go through this document, learn all of this, especially this, guys. Because I don't know if some of you had time to watch the video on Wednesday that I posted, but after this, after going through this document and understanding what I said about CPU, what Kingsley is saying about storage today, and hard drive, you should comfortably go into Micro Center and buy a laptop without one of those salespeople asking you what exactly you want. Because what will determine the type of machine you want to buy? Because you can be in a company where you are the one buying their laptops
You're doing
That is the
online purchase.
responsibility of the IT department. Like I will show you. I also do that sometimes.
Yeah, we have for us, we have a purchasing department where we have this lady. She's part of the IT department, but all she does is does purchasing. Like, you know, we need hard drives, iPads, all those devices, any electronic devices, it has to go through the purchasing department with IT.
You see,
When it comes, yeah.
this is my company's credit card. I have a credit card with unlimited. It's unlimited. I don't have a fixed amount in here. It's unlimited. Anyone want to buy anything IT related, it comes to me. I have to approve it. And if the IT guy that needs to buy a laptop for some person, he needs to know exactly what he wants to buy. And then when it comes to me, I do that approval. Sometimes I just buy it. I just buy it directly. Sometimes I approve it for the junior guy to go buy. But you need to understand what kind of laptop your company is using and why, and the capacity. Jarvis, you have a question?
Yes, just relating to bits and bytes. What is the capacity of 1 gigabit?
1 gigabit, it's very, very small. Very, very small that you can look that up. I've never known. I always just
I think it's
start
like
with
1,000 or
8.
10,000. It should be like 1,000 or 10,000, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, you can Google it. I'm not too sure about that, but just know that everything starts with bits, and 8 bits is gonna make a byte, and then from a byte you're gonna go to a kilobyte by adding 1,000, and then you keep adding 1,000 to go to the next level. So you're gonna go from bits to byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte,
if you go too much into
terabyte,
detail,
petabyte, and it's gonna keep going.
if you're going to be more details, there's nanobyte, there's I think there's more. There's more.
Yeah,
So if you look
yeah,
more,
not to confuse you to go into the nanos and so just leave it the way it is so that it makes sense.
we're just focusing on the ones that we use now, like on the present days, because those ones are fading out as well. Like when Miss Fade was asking about like the PATA drive, those ones are stuff that are fading out. So you wouldn't even hear about them very soon in the IT technologies anymore. Those ones are like outdated.
Yeah. So
they're
if you
going
go into a hardware store to get a computer, the first thing you need to know, what operating system are you looking for? Is it a Windows operating system? Is it the Linux operating system? Is it the Mac operating system? That's where everything starts. Determine your operating system. Say you want to go with Windows operating system. What version of Windows operating system you want to go with? Do you want to go with the Home Edition? Do you want to go with the Enterprise Edition, or do you want to go with the Pro Edition? Those are the 3 different editions. And they have different prices too. Say you decide you want to go with the Home Edition because it's for home use. So you've sorted your operating system. So when you say Windows 10, what is the latest Windows operating system? It is Windows 10, right? So you want to go with the Windows 10. What edition? You want to go with the Home Edition. You cannot afford the Pro Edition or the Enterprise Edition or the Business Edition. So that is sorted out. The next thing you want to think about is, what am I going to be using this computer to do? Am I going to be doing a lot of processing? Do I need processing power? That is where your CPU comes in.
Yep.
And remember, your CPU speed is measured in gigahertz. It's measured in gigahertz. So a good computer will have
1.2 gigahertz to something.
Yeah.
That's the minimum.
Yeah. So if you want a fast computer, you want to get at least 3 gigahertz and up. From 3, anything below 3 is average.
It's just a regular laptop.
Yeah, 2, it starts getting slow. From 3, your CPU is fast. 3, 3.5, 4, and you keep going up. Anything you see in the 2s, 2.5, they are moderate. But say you want to go for something at least fast. So start looking from 3 and up. The next thing about CPUs, you want to look at the number of CPUs that are on the machine. And I said this is going to be demonstrated in cores.
Yeah,
you have a single core, you have a double core, you have a quad core for 4, you have a triple core. And those things will determine the price. Like, okay, you want 2, let's say you are going for double core. It means you have 2 CPUs that are running at the same time. It's going to improve and increase the processing power of your machine. So now that is CPU. Next thing, what Kingsley talked about at length today, memory. Memory. Memory goes from 4 to 8 to 12 to 16 to 32. You're not going to find 5 gigabytes of memory. No, you're never going to find it. The least you see out there is 4. 4 is very, very small. It's the smallest.
Yep.
And from 4, you're not going to see 5 or 6 or 7. From 4, it goes to 8.
8.
From 8, it goes to 12. Then from 12, it goes to 16. 16, 32, 64, and then it keeps going up.
512, 1 terabyte.
So
like that.
A good computer should have at least 8 gigabytes of memory, at least. But I will recommend 12 if you can afford it, 12. And then 16 is really, really good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
If you have 16 gig of RAM.
So if you are going into a hardware store, you are looking between 8 and 12 gigabytes. Unless you have more money to spend, then you start shooting for the 16. But if a machine has 4, please don't even bother yourself.
And another thing you guys have to understand is that you go buy, let's say for instance, you bought a machine that had a lower memory in it, like maybe it had 8 gig of RAM in the computer, and then it's just a regular computer that has a regular processor, not a dual core processor. You cannot go buy a 16 gig of RAM and come and put it in just a regular processor, because it's gonna mess things up. It's just gonna be like as if you haven't done no change. So one thing that you guys have to understand, the way they make the processor, it has to run the same way the memory is running with. That's why I say memory deals, it works like a buffer for the processor and storage.
Okay.
So that's what, yeah.
So now the last thing now you need to worry about after memory is the storage, which is your hard drive.
Your hard drive.
Right? And we have studied different types of hard drives, right? So in a case like this, you want to go for either an HDD, you want to go for an SSD. An SSD, which is the fastest, is going to cost more than an HDD, which is a hard disk drive, right? So you are looking for an SSD. Now, what is the storage capacity? You want to go from at least 256 gigabytes and up.
Minimum.
Minimum 256 gigabytes or 250 and up. 250, 500 and up, all the way to 1 terabyte. If you can get a 1 terabyte of this space, the better for you. So based on everything I've said, you can comfortably sit down right now and come up with the specs of a machine that you want and walk into a hardware store and tell the sales agent exactly what you want. Am I confident of that?
Like this one that I have right now, this is a 1 terabyte, but it's like an external storage. I can still use this because in here right now, I have a laptop hard drive. This casing is just a shell casing that helps me, keeps it like a portable hard drive. I can always open this, take this out, and put it into a computer, and it works the same. It's just a drive that's in here. That's the only difference. And when it comes to memories too, as Gerard said about drives, that they have types of drives too. We also have types of RAMs that you want to get as well. There's SD RAMs, you have SRAMs, you have the DRAMs, you have SDD RAMs as well also. When we come back from break after this, we're gonna go into that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take a 10-minute.
Yeah. So
Mr. Kingsley, I have a question from Mr.
Yes.
Kingsley. You said the memory you have to be certain that it's if you're getting like a 16 gigabytes, you have to also look at this core.
The processor.
You
want to make sure your processor is faster. Like Jera was saying that if you have a machine that has a 1.3 gigahertz processor in it, you cannot go buy a 16 gig of RAM and come and put it in a 1.3 gigahertz of processor. The processor speed will not change.
Yes.
The machine will not be faster. It's still gonna be the same. Because why? Now you're slaving that memory. You know what I mean by that? You're slaving the memory. That means you're giving the memory more work. Because I said earlier, like the memory is like a buffer. As I gave you guys a definition earlier, the memory is like a buffer for the processor and the storage. Why? It easily takes information from the processor, sends and stores it quicker in the hard drive, same way as it grabs information from the hard drive and provide it to the processor. So he's like a middle person that he takes things faster and give it to this person. When this person asks for something, he takes it quicker and give it to this person. If this person wants to save something, he takes it quicker and save it as well. So he's like a middleman. So you can never put him in there and he is fast and you are slow. So when you're slow, he's going faster, but when he gets there, you're not ready for him. So it's gonna be like you just waste money for nothing. So you always want to make sure if you have a 16 gig of RAM, you want to have a fast processor as well. Same as a good hard drive, as Gerard mentioned, a faster hard drive, because all those are some of the things that are going to make your machine, the processing speed and the machine become faster. Those are some of the troubleshooting steps at work that are going to ask, okay, what are some of the things that you can do to make this machine faster? You can increase the processor speed, you can increase the RAM, and you can also up the hard drive. Those are some of the things. You can change the hard drive to a faster one. Those are most three things that will make the machine faster as well.
Okay. So before we go on break, I'll just show you one very, very important thing. Since we are talking about machine performance and making your system fast, what are some of the things that you can do to actually increase the speed of your machine? So at work, these are the things that you come across. A user can bring your machine to you and tell you your machine is very, very slow. And you are the IT person and they hand over the laptop to you. You're going to troubleshoot and find out what is making that machine slow, right? Assuming you are the one who purchased the machine, you know that the IT department gets the best machines. We know our machines are i7s, right? We know our machines are 16 gigabytes of RAM, they are SSDs, and they are Windows 10 Pro edition. This machine shouldn't be slow, right? And you want to find out like what is making this machine slow.
The next step now, you go to the next step.
We are taking the troubleshooting to the next level. That's where we start talking about system performance. And this is how you track system performance. You have to monitor what is going on your machine.
Behind the scene.
So if you come right here on your machine, on the Windows icon right here, on the start icon.
You have to share. You're not sharing.
Sorry, I'm not sharing. Sorry.
No.
I thought I was sharing. So please don't forget to go through this. It's very, very important. Tomorrow, I'm going to ask the full meaning of SQL and SATA. So if Biden, if you don't tell me, you're in trouble.
You should be ready.
Okay. So sorry, let me take this virtual machine out of the way. Nice this.
Yeah. How many did you have open?
I was running Ansible, so I have.
Oh, okay. You have to do test.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to check and monitor the performance of my machine or a user's machine. You can come right here and you go straight to Task Manager. It's going to open here. So Task Manager is where everything happens. So if you don't want to type it here, you can still right click on your start icon and you're still going to find Task Manager here.
You can right click anywhere on that taskbar. So long as you don't have icons blocking your way, any black space down there on the taskbar, it can work as well.
And this bar right here, guys, this is what is known as your taskbar.
Yeah, I did. Right? That was in the homework as well.
So this is your taskbar right here. Your taskbar is where icons are going to be. The stuff that you are working on your machine, they're going to be on your taskbar. So you can always click on the icon to open the application that you're working on. And you minimize, it's going to go back to your taskbar. So your taskbar is very important. So you can, like I said, you can open Task Manager directly by typing Task Manager here, or you can go from here, right click on that Windows, and you open it from here, Task Manager. So Task Manager is going to open like this. So Task Manager tracks the performance of your machine. Every application that is open will open in Task Manager. Task Manager is tracking everything that is happening on your machine. And look right here, it's monitoring CPU, it's monitoring memory, it's monitoring disk, which is storage, and then it's also monitoring network performance and GPU, which is in terms of graphics. So if I have an application that is not responding, for example, you can come into Task Manager and you kill that application, which is the same as killing the process. When an application is running, it starts a process. So you see all these applications here, it means I have all these processes running right now. And if your machine is frozen, for example, right, because of some application that is not responding, say Google Chrome freezes, and you're trying to click on it and it's not opening, it just freezes. You can come into Task Manager, look for that application, you click on it, and you come here at the bottom, you click on End Task, and it's gonna kill Google Chrome. So right now, my Google Chrome has been killed. It was right here, and right now there's no Chrome. Same with, I have Microsoft Edge. This is Edge right here. If I click on Edge and I click on End Task, it's gonna kill that Edge process. So that's how you kill, and you're gonna be monitoring processes. Who is running what process that is consuming system resources. So you can tell the person, oh, you have all these applications open. It's taking a lot of memory. Look at my memory usage right now. My memory is at 62%. That is high because I have a lot of applications open.
Yeah, you can look at the application that is using the most memory. Like if you look there, it tells you each application
so
how many memory.
If you come right here, you can start looking like which application is using the greatest amount of memory. I have a Windows Manager right now. It's using 60.9 megabytes.
The biggest is Zoom.
Zoom is using 25.2 megabytes.
Zoom meeting.
I have Zoom meeting, which we're on Zoom meeting right now with the class.
That's the most.
It's using the most, 237.5 megs. So you have to look at the application that is using the most memory. And you ask yourself, do you need that application open or not? If you don't need it open, you can go back and close the application, or you can click on the application right here and you kill it right here. If I kill this one right now, it's gonna end this Zoom meeting.
Yep.
You do the same for applications that are frozen or that are non-responsive.
Non-responsive, yeah.
You come in here and kill them. And if you actually come here
to performance,
right here, so these are processes. These are the processes that are running. Again, let me repeat. Each time you open an application or you click on a Word document, you are starting a process on your computer, and it's gonna show up here. Right now, I have Slack open, so the Slack process is running. Next to the processes up here.
Gerald, just one thing before you go, scroll down all the way, you see background, because there's difference between your processes that are running right now and the background processes as well. So if you scroll, keep going down. If you keep going down, it will reach where you see its background process is running. So you went too fast. It should be up. It should have another heading. Keep going. Just keep going. All these ones are background processes.
Yeah. So all these are processes that you didn't start them.
Yeah, but they're running on the background.
They are running in the background because your machine is on.
It needs them.
So we'll talk more about background processes in Linux.
Are those temporary files? This is like 0%. The memory.
They are not temporary files. Those are processes, as Gerard says. But those processes those processes are being activated when you boot up your machine. They are processes that the machine needs to run on them to make the machine perform good. So they run on the background, so they don't run on the front end. But the first one that you see on the top, those are the processes that runs on your actual process that you're running right now. Like you see, even Task Manager, as he opened Task Manager, you can also see Task Manager in there. You can also kill Task Manager from in here as well.
Yeah. So we started by opening up Task Manager. So we also started the Task Manager process.
Right.
So Task Manager, even though we are working on Task Manager right now, the Task Manager process is also right running here. So if you come to performance, so these are the processes. If you come to performance right here, it's going to actually give you the exact performance. This is my CPU usage, right? You see it is going up and coming down. So we are at 62%, which is somewhere here. That's my peak. So at work, if you take somebody's machine and the CPU is almost at 80% or 90%, then you know that a lot of CPU is being consumed. That's why the machine is slow. And also, look at my CPU speed. It's going all the way to 3 gigahertz. Imagine my CPU was below than 2 gigahertz maximum capacity. I would have been stretching this machine right now. But I know my overall speed, my overall CPU speed, I think is 4. I think the CPU has 4, yeah. And you see, I have 268 processes running. So this is what you are looking for when you are troubleshooting performance of a machine. you are looking at the CPU speed. Is the CPU speed being maximized? What is the percentage of CPU usage? Is it being capped? Right now, I'm at 62%. It is high, but it's okay. That's a little bit above 50%. That is fine. But if your CPU is being consumed up to 80%, that is, you are working the CPU. What is happening? Then you need to now go and start looking at the processes that are eating up a lot of CPU.
Yeah.
Next thing, you are looking at RAM.
Go back to that.
Let's go back to performance.
Yep.
Right. Let's go back to memory. Memory is RAM. We'll click on RAM. This is my RAM usage. It's a little bit above 50%. So this is like 60% too.
63 right there. If you look next to the RAM, it will show you. It show you in the bracket. No, the highlighted one. No, up up top right hand side where you click after CPU. If you look underneath memory, you see where it says 63%. That's the percentage of memory there you're using right now.
Yeah.
You can see right there in the bracket. It says you're using. That means it's above 50.
Yeah. So above 50 is fine. But when you start hitting 70, 80,
yeah,
that's when you're knowing that you are consuming too much memory.
And just
you need to go back here to the processes and
no,
you
go
start
back.
looking.
Jira, go back to performance. Let me tell them something. Just one thing there.
Okay.
So go back to CPU. Go to CPU. You see how his memory is at 63%, right? The reason why this memory is at 63% is because there's something they call the uptime. If you look underneath, go down right here, just put your cursor on down here, see all the way down. That's the uptime. That means I can tell that this computer has been on for 3 days, 8 hours and 50 something minutes. That's 3 days. So for him to clear this, if you look here on the just continue by the uptime, you see where it says level 3 cache. There's level 3 cache, there's level 1 cache, and level 1 cache has 256 kilobytes. So it shows that that memory has been holding information for that length of time and needs to be cleared out. So for you to do that, you can just restart this machine, or you can power off the machine and power it back on. It's going to clear all this cache memory and then clear this uptime as well. So once you put your machine back, you come back to Task Manager, your uptime is going to change to maybe 0 minute or something like that. So those are some of the things you got to see, pay attention to for your memory as well.
Yeah. So another thing about uptime. Uptime tells you how long your machine has been up,
right,
and running
without power off.
You can ask someone who brings your machine to you, and you say, "When was the last time you rebooted this machine?" And the person said, "I just rebooted the machine before I brought it to you," right? Yeah. The way for you to know if the person is lying or not is to come and look at uptime. You come to look at the CPU, come to uptime. It's going to tell you this machine has been up for 3 hours.
3 hours, yeah, sorry, I said
3 hours, 8 minutes. So that's how you know if somebody's lying to you or not. You can't lie to IT folks. No, they're going to catch you. You know, so your CPU is going to keep changing based on the applications that you're running. You know, so that is it for CPU. And this is it for disk. Look at my storage right now. It's not very much in use, right? So storage use is very, very low. I'm not doing, my storage is not working. I'm not using a lot of storage, but I'm using a lot of memory and I'm using a lot of CPU. Wi-Fi. And based on the processes, you can come now, you look at it, which process is consuming what amount of memory, and then you kill or you stop that process. Is that clear, guys?
I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do in this Task Manager. We're gonna keep going back and forth on them. You always see new things in there because there's a lot of things that you can do in that Task Manager that is gonna help you, like help your machine the speed as well, as Gerald was saying. Then another thing too about performance too is this cleanup. After you've done those checks in Task Manager, you can also go to your hard drive, right click on your hard drive, you do a disk cleanup, because that will also increase your performance too as well.
So I'll show you guys how to do that. So this file, right, this folder right here on your taskbar, that is what is known as your File Explorer. File Explorer. It was part of the homework. Yep. This is File Explorer. If I put my mouse on it, it's going to show up File Explorer. So if you open up your File Explorer, it's gonna show up it's gonna show your system like this. On the left, it's gonna show you downloads, documents. It's gonna show other folders that you are working on, and then it's gonna show you your PC. If you right-click on this PC, you come all down all the way to properties. It's gonna open this. This is how you check what kind of operating system you have on your machine. So you can see I have a Windows 10 Pro Edition, and then it's gonna tell you your memory. This is my total memory on my machine.
Processor speed as well.
It's gonna tell me my processor speed. It's gonna tell everything, right? So this is how, if somebody brings their machine to you and ask you, okay, can you tell me what machine I'm using? That's how. Machine specs, exactly, Kingsley. That's what we're talking about here. Yep. So let me do it again. You come to File Explorer.
Get used to the languages. Machine specs. You know, hear somebody say, "Let me go check the system." No, when it says somebody asks you about machine specs, that's where you want to go.
Yes. And remember, Jude, yesterday I was asking you about your specs. I use that word, right? Yeah. So that's what you'll be hearing a lot.
Yeah.
So somebody can bring their machine to you at work, and you have to check their specs and tell them. You know, so this is how you do it. You come to File Explorer, you come to this PC, you right-click on it, come to Properties. It's gonna open this, and you can see the specs of their machine, and then you can say, oh, you are using a Windows 10 Home Edition, or your memory is 4 gigabytes. That's too low. You should be using at least 12 or 16 gigabytes. You know, this is the number of cores you have. You know, you're also talking about the operating system. I have a 64-bit operating system. You know.
Yeah, another thing in here too, when we start doing remote support and file sharing in networking, you also want to get in here to get the computer name. If you want to remote into this machine, you have to come in here to find the machine name, and which you can see here. Gerard's on says the computer name says desktop NN something. You can always do changes. You can always change that.
I can change it if I want. You know.
Yep.
I can change it. I can rename this computer to Gerald. You know.
But it's going to require him to reboot.
Yeah, that's
because once you change it, you need to reboot your computer for it to take in play.
Yeah. So that's how you can change your machine. Now it's gonna change this computer name to Gerald. You know. And at work, you're gonna be doing this because you're gonna be adding machines to the network.
The domain.
Yes, to the domain. So Kingsley is gonna talk about domains. Or I'll talk about domains tomorrow. And
no, but I'll add into it too. No worries.
Yeah, Kingsley will cover domains. I think he's an expert in that. So this is how you get the specs of your machine, guys. Very, very important. So don't forget it. Now we are here. If I double click on this PC, it's gonna show me my hard drive. Remember, your hard drive is your C drive. The Z drive right here is my external drive. I have an external drive connected to my machine. So on your machine, you're not gonna see a Z drive unless you are connecting an external drive. But this is my hard drive right here, which is the C drive.
It's always gonna be the C drive.
Yes, it's always gonna be the C. So if I right-click on that and I go to Properties, it's gonna open this box right here. Look what it says. I can do a disk cleanup. I want to increase the performance of my machine. So I can clean my disk by, so look at what it says here. The amount of space that I've used. I've used 245 gigabytes. This is what is available. So this is how you can go into your machine and know if your hard drive is full or not. That's how you check your hard drive to know if your hard drive is filling up or you have extra space in your hard drive. So now it tells you the free space, the use space. I can do some cleanup. Cleanup doesn't mean it's gonna delete stuff. It's gonna delete all the files that I have on my hard drive. Cleanup is gonna remove like obsolete files, junk files that you don't need, right? So, and you can also compress your disk to save more space if you want. But let's say I want to do a cleanup. I can come right here and I say, okay, I want to clean up my disk to increase my performance. You see, and it's gonna ask me, what are the things I want to remove from the machine to increase the performance? So it already selected temporary internet files, you know. So you come right here, If you want it to delete your downloads, you can select downloads, you know. So you select the things that you want it to remove. Select from here. Temp files, you want things to be removed from your recycle bin, and that is it. You click OK, it's gonna ask you,
are you sure you want to delete
this
this
file?
file?
Sure, because it's taking these files away. So be sure. You say yes, take them out.
And once you click delete, it's not going to go to your recycle bin like the way when you delete something from your desktop, it goes to your recycle bin. This one deletes permanently. It goes forever. You will never find it anymore.
Yes. So be careful when you do this. So if I click delete files, it's going to start cleaning them. You see, this cleanup utility is cleaning up unnecessary files on your machine. So it's going to clean up all these files and allocate more space to my machine. So all the space that was being used by those files are going to be freed up. And now you can see my free space
has increased to.
Has increased.
That's 2 extra megabytes.
You see, my use space now has gone down. My free space now has gone up because I've deleted files. I've created more space on the machine. So that is one way you increase your system performance. Any question about this process?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
You just mentioned that when you delete files, when you as you just did now, it doesn't go to your recycle bin. So where are files? I mean, for example, I've seen a situation where someone formats the machine, but they use a software to retrieve the files.
You can do a disk recovery.
Yes.
Disk recovery. It depends on how the way you format the machine. There's so many ways of formatting the machine. You can format the machine without, because when you're creating the machine, right, your hard drive has partitions that you create them. So there's some partitions that we call them the recovery partitions. That space. That's why when you create a hard drive, if the hard drive was 500 gig hard drive, if you go once the machine is built, you go into the hard drive space. You will never see that 500 gig hard drive in total as your hard drive space. What you're gonna see is gonna be 400 and something space. That means there's an extra. I think it's 5 gig, or I think it's like 10 gig that is saved purposely just for recovery. Let me see if I can. Let me share my machine so you can. I'll show you exactly what I'm. Oh.
Go ahead. I can stop sharing.
Oh yeah. Okay, so if I go here, let me do my desktop. All right, I'll minimize this. All right, so if I go to my file explorer, if I want to see my complete disk space, you see how it says here? It says I've used I have 381 out of 476. That is not the total specs of my hard drive. So this hard drive is actually 500 gig hard drive. But when you build this machine, it's never going to tell you that it's exactly 500 gig on the dot here, because there's an extra space, extra partition that is being reserved just for incidents like that. Let's say you have a fail boot up, and then your machine crash. That partition that's been saved, it has a recovery files that are saved there that can recover everything. That now you need an extra software to get to that recovery part of it. There are some troubleshooting steps that you can look online. You see how you can get to that recovery steps, or you can use another like third-party software, or you can go to Microsoft's website by itself, research there. They're going to show you how to do that recovery process on their own machines. So that's why that disk space is always safe for not in use. Like you see here, it keeps telling you the total here is 476, but it's not 476 actually. There's an extra space that is backed up just for that. See, I can it's previous version. That's just different stuff. But yeah, that's to answer your question. Jarvis, it's Jarvis, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just making sure who had the question. But that's just to answer your question. So that's where it goes. Like when he did the disk cleanup, all that information that has been deleted is going it is going to that recovery, but it's not going to be into your recycle. Because when you delete stuff in your recycle, if you want to retrieve them back, when you delete from recycle, it goes away. Like you cannot retrieve those ones back. But when you do a disk cleanup, depending on the files that you have, some of them that is important can go into that recovery part. But recovery mostly holds your operating system. Let's say your operating system crashes and you want to get back that operating system. That's where you get it from the recovery. The recovery part, which is that partition of your hard drive that you cannot find. That's where you get it from.
Okay. And
it is the same way. It is the same way when you wanna clean up the iCloud, like on the phone.
Yeah, iCloud. No, iCloud, iPhone. When you clean it out, that goes to Apple. They have their own ways of the recovering, retrieving stuff because they also have a cloud platform where they store, they back up your information on. That's why they have you pay for that extra money to get extra storage space on your iCloud because they're backing up your information in case your phone breaks down or something. They can retrieve all that information from there. It's almost pretty much like that too as well, but this one is mainly on your hard drive. When you're creating the hard drive, it has a specific partition that you cannot use it. It always saves that partition just for recovery purposes. Anyone has a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask about like for example, when you fragment your drive now, when you fragment it, does it just the fragmented drive? Do they also have like some recovery portions, or it goes back to the original drive which you fragmented?
When you're partitioning your drive, like when you're let's say you mean by when you're setting up a computer from the beginning, from like a whole from crash process.
No, I mean like if you decide to, for example, you want to partition your drive.
Right, I understand. That's what I'm saying. Like when you're partitioning your drive into different partition, the recovery one is always going to be on the C drive. Your recovery space is always going to be on the C drive.
Okay.
Yeah, the partition drive is just like you having an external hard drive outside.
Okay.
Yes, and that drive you can always do everything on it. You can always, put a permission on it, a lock permission on that partition drive that nobody can get access to that partition drive. That's going to be when we get into a file sharing and a networking. You see how to do all those partition and stuff. You can partition a drive. You can even partition you can set permission on the folder that nobody can edit that folder. They can only open the folder, add content, but they cannot delete content and they cannot edit any content from that folder. You can do it on a file as well. You can change permission on that file. So long as you are the one that set the permission, you're always going to be the admin of that file or that document. But anyone else, you can give somebody else permission, just a read only permission. That the person can only read the file, but the person cannot edit it. You can give somebody just only read permission that the person can read the file, they cannot delete it. You can give somebody read and write, they can edit the file, but they cannot delete the file. So you will see more into that when we get into file sharing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Kingsley. So we have 2 minutes to go to our break, and I'll just share this before we go to the break. So increasing your system performance. This is a very, very important skill that you all should know as IT techs, because like I said, at work, you'll be increasing system performance for the users that you're working with, your co-workers. If somebody is in the HR department, their machine is messing up, they're going to bring it to you, the IT guy. They're going to bring it to the IT department, and you might be the one to handle that. You never know. So these are some of the things that you can do to increase the performance of a machine. Remember, you start up by checking the system specs. That's the first thing you do, right? And I showed you how to check the system specs. And system specs, you are looking at the operating system type, the memory, the gigahertz of the CPU type, and the storage. Now you've checked that. You want to increase the performance of the machine because you are the one purchasing machines in your company. You know that you purchase good machines for the company. There's no way the machine should be slow. These are some of the things that you can do to increase performance of the machine. You can delete system junk files, right? I just showed you how to delete junk files, right? And you can actually go and delete files that you don't need by using the control panel. You know, if you go to the control panel, you can uninstall applications that you don't need. So if you go to the control panel, you come to programs, uninstall a program, you click here. You can click on any program right here, because at work, you're not just going to be installing any kind of application. The IT department controls any application that is installed on any machine. It is strictly controlled by the IT department. So you as the IT person, when you take that person's machine, You come to control panel and you check if all the applications that are installed on that machine are authorized applications by the company. If you see anything here that has been installed that has not been authorized by the company, or that IT didn't install, you have to start asking that person questions.
Like my own company, like users cannot install application on the computer because it requires admin.
There's group policy that
yes. And another thing that you know is that every department they don't have the same programs. All the departments don't have the same program. Finance department might have a different programs. HR department, they have different programs that they use. So that's how you want to set the programs on. And the users cannot install on them.
Yeah. So IT knows which applications which department is supposed to be using. So if that person is coming from the HR department, for example, you, the IT person, you have a list of the applications that people in that department are supposed to be using, right? And having that knowledge, you can come here and you check if there is any other application that is on that machine that's not supposed to be there. And if you see an application, then we're going to find out how that application got installed.
Except
who installed it, who authorized it. So that is trouble IT is bringing to that person right there. You know, that is your job. Who installed this application? Why? You need accountability. You need to talk to their manager. But you can go ahead right then and you delete that application. So to uninstall an application here, you just need to say, if I want to uninstall this application I used to connect to Google Cloud, I just click on it and then I click on install. And then if I click on install now, it's gone. So that's how you remove programs on your machine. And I said you go through the control panel. Let me show it again. You know, control panel, uninstall a program. You select the program here and you uninstall it. That is straightforward. You know, and you delete system junk and temp files. I just showed you how to do that. Uninstall obsolete applications. I just showed you how to uninstall applications. You can also troubleshoot and fix with your system troubleshooter. I'll show you how to do that soon. Okay, you can verify if your system is up to date. What do I mean by verifying if your system is up to date?
The version, the Windows version.
You know, so you actually doing Windows update.
Yep.
And guys, remember we spoke about Windows update last week. Kingsley was saying that I haven't updated my machine. So if you click right here, you just click on, you just type update. I'm just showing you shortcuts.
Check
how to go there directly, because there are longer methods to go to system updates.
You have to go through settings.
You have to go to settings, system. So I'm just giving you the shortcut to go there directly without going through many doors. So if you type updates and you click on update, it's going to tell you if your machine has been updated or not. You want to make sure that machine is updated, right? So if I click on check updates, it's going to start checking updates right here. You know, it's going to take us to the update page. It's going to tell me what needs to be updated on my machine, and I can start the system update. And when the system is done updating, it's going to tell you to reboot your machine. Sometimes you reboot the machine, go check again, it's still going to run another update, tell you to reboot your machine again, until you get the machine, the message your system is 100% up to date. Don't run the update process one time and say I've updated my machine. No, a lot of IT techs make that mistake. They run system update one time, and when they run the update, it goes to the end. They're like, okay, my machine is updated. No, that is a mistake. Run the update. It's going to tell you to reboot your machine. After it's done updating, reboot your machine. Go run the update again. If the update runs again, it means you need to do extra update. So sometimes you can update like 3 times until you get the message system is 100% fully updated. If you don't see that message, then your machine has not been updated. Take note of that. You can also scan and remove malware. Kingsley, are you going to talk about malware today or tomorrow?
We can do it today. I mean, we have to install the application. I will have 1 hour, but I mean,
okay.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. If not, we'll go into malware tomorrow.
Yeah.
First thing, yeah.
So let me just give a highlight on malware. So malware is anything malicious that can cause havoc to your machine. So malware actually stands for malicious ware, right? And examples of hardware, you have like 3 types of malware. You have viruses.
Yep.
You have hardware, and then you have spyware. So all of these fall under malware. So let me come here. Malware types. Yeah, so these are the malware types, guys. So you have viruses, you have hardware, and you have spyware. We all know what a computer virus is, right? And there are different types of viruses. Trojan horses, all those things that will corrupt your system will fall under viruses. Hardware, you have to be very careful with hardware. Hardware is a type of virus that you see online. They put the virus behind an advert and they tell you to click here to win $10,000. Click here and I'll show you some secret to how to make money. Click here and I'll sell you something very cheap. That is hardware. The moment you click on that, the virus installs on your machine. So hardware is used as a form of advertisement, online advertisement, to get the culprits. So you need to be very careful with hardware. Don't go around clicking things anyhow. And then spyware is actually something that spies on you. It's an application, it's a kind of malware that spies on you. Spyware is mostly used by hackers. They'll use spyware and take control of your machine. And it can come to you in the form of hardware that they're advertising something and you click on it and then it installs on your machine. And then it starts spying on everything you're doing, collect your credit card information, your SS number, and all that. So these are the 3 types. And to protect your machine, we'll deal with what you can use to protect your machine, like different anti-malware applications, which Kingsley briefly spoke about, I think last week. So to protect yourself, we need anti-malware applications. And last week we talked about them. Biden, can you give me one of them? There's McAfee, right? What else? Everyone should give me one. There's Norton. Unmute yourself, please, and give me one. Faith, please. There's Malwarebytes.
The one I know is McAfee. That's the one I know.
Okay. Biden, you're not saying anything, please. I need one. You are muted. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
I'm only aware of the McAfee and then the Malwarebytes.
You have Google. You can Google and give it. Google is your best friend in this class. Don't forget. When I say give me stuff, Google and give it to me. Don't just sit and
I just felt like
I know.
We shouldn't be doing that.
Avast.
There is Avast, right? Avast. There is Kaspersky. I forgot. I don't know the. Look at the spelling. If I spell it wrong, Kaspersky. Double check that spelling. It might be wrong, but something like that. Kaspersky. There is what else? There is PC Celine. Something like that. Double check the spelling to make sure I'm getting the spelling right. What else?
Worms.
Which one is that?
Worms.
I've never heard of that one. So we're going with the ones that are recognized in the workplace.
What about AVG?
AVG.
AVG is mostly for home use. The AVG is a good one, but I've never seen it in the workplace.
Oh, okay.
Bit Defender.
That is another one too. Yeah, but these are the popular ones you find at work. Mostly McAfee, Norton, and Malwarebytes. These are the 3.
Have you heard of Webhoops?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. I think
It's a 360 security.
It's spelled like that. Yeah, web root, something like that. Yeah, I've seen this one too in the workplace. So, but these are the three big boys: McAfee, Norton, and Malwarebytes.
Mr. Jared, but I think there are more types of the malware types. I just found some more like ransomware. So it's just not that three, right?
Yes. So ransomware, yes, we can include ransomware here because ransomware of late came back because over the years, right? Ransomware was kind of mitigated and people stopped worrying about ransomware. But in the past 2 years, ransomware has come back into the IT world, and a lot of these hackers are disturbing the place with ransomware. So ransomware is one tool. We can bring it back, but for a while, it's been in the shadows. So what ransomware actually does, I don't know if it has a D there or not. Just double check.
Let's take 10. Let's take 10 before we run into time.
No, it doesn't have a D.
Yeah, it doesn't have a D, right? Yeah. So it's like
it doesn't have a D and an E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ransomware, how is ransomware used? Hackers will use ransomware and they use it to encrypt your hard drive. Just imagine you're a bank, right? And you have customer information on your hard drive. You get a hacking attack and they use ransomware to encrypt your hard drive. It means you, the bank, you cannot have access to customer information. No transaction can happen. And the hackers will tell you, pay us $10 million before we can unencrypt that drive. That's what ransomware does.
Right now.
Say that again, Emeka.
I'm going through that right now.
So ransomware attacks those are the kind of attacks you don't even want. If they encrypt your hard drive, you're a big organization, you are in trouble. You have to pay. FBI will not help you. You pay. So let's take a break. Let's take a break and come back in 10.
Hey, Jared.
Yes.
I'm trying to
pause the recording now.
Oh, sorry.
We're on break. You can ask. You can leave. We're on break right now. So, but you can still ask a question.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on Slack on the desktop and my laptop. For some reason, I can't, and I can only do it on the phone for some reason. When I try to log in, it says that I've been logged out on the one that is on the computer. So I don't know.
We'll find out. We'll check after class. Don't worry.
Okay.
And then Kingsley, I'll just finish what I was talking about real quick, and then I'll hand things back to you. Okay, so let's go back to my screen. And let's go back to this document. So yeah, guys, we were here increasing system performance. Like I said, you will be increasing system performance at work. And what is the first thing you do when you want to increase system performance? Like, Jonathan, if I bring my machine to you right now and I say, I don't know what is going on. This machine's just been acting weird. I don't know. It's just been slow. I'm clicking on applications. It's freezing. What are you going to do? What's the first thing you're going to do?
So first, then I'll check the CPU utilization, because I assume that since I'm involved with the purchase of the machine, all the specs are according to like company standards.
Exactly.
So first of all, I will check the CPU utilization.
You're right, but you're right. What you're saying is true, but I want you to use a keyword. You have to do something. How do you check CPU utilization?
I will go to this PC.
You go to Task Manager. You want to go to Task Manager. That's where everything starts.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't go into during an interview. Don't go into I'll check CPU. Just say you go into Task Manager, right? Don't go around saying I click here, this PC, do this. No. They don't need all those steps. Just say I go to Task Manager and I check CPU. I check the performance. I check the processes that are running. I check CPU utilization. I check memory utilization. I check any hanging processes or processes that are stored. You can kill the processes. You can end the task right in Task Manager. Then from there, if the person has opened up a lot of applications, then you're telling the person you have so many applications open. It's consuming a lot of memory, you know, and that is why it's slowing down your machine. We need to start closing applications right now. So start telling me which work to save, which one is important or which one is not important, because we're going to start closing all these open applications. You start closing them down, and you're going to see the performance increasing as you shutting down those applications. If you do that, kill applications, shut down applications, performance is still a problem. Now you want to go check junk files, right? You go check the machine for junk files. You check applications that are on the machine, uninstall obsolete applications, applications that are not even authorized to be used in that environment. And if you see an application on that machine that is not supposed to be there, you have to question that user. Who installed the application? Does your manager know about it? And then you have to take that to your own manager, that you found an application on this person's machine, which you don't know if the company authorized that application, or maybe they authorized that application recently without your knowledge. But based on the list of applications that you guys manage, this application is not there, and I've seen on that machine. Who installed it and when and how? There needs to be some kind of accountability right there, because as the IT person, you need to know what happened, you know. But if it's an application that is not authorized, then you have to uninstall it. And then now you also need to troubleshoot. There's a troubleshooting tool in your machine that you can use to troubleshoot network problems and other problems on the machine. Then, guys, Windows Update is very, very important. You know, so you have to check if your system is up to date by doing a Windows Update. Windows Update is very important, right? And then you scan and remove malware. Based on the malware suite that you have, you're gonna run that, because what malware applications actually do, they remove viruses and they also scan your machine. So they scan the machine and they protect the machine for viruses, hardware, spyware, ransomware attacks. So all of these are known as suites. You know, McAfee suite. So they call them suites.
Yep. Sweet.
So just add suite to all of them. So then they are known as suites, you know. So the suite simply means they have more than one functionality. They don't do just malware protection. They also scan your machine. If your machine has been infected, you can use that suite to scan that machine, detect viruses or unwanted programs on your machine, and it also protects your machine from infection. So those are the things that a suite will do. So you run a scan, and when you run that scan using that suite, if you're using McAfee, for example, it's gonna tell you which are the things, what things are on your machine that needs to be removed, and you can go ahead and you delete them. And then you can also go ahead and you find and fix corrupted or defective operating system files by using this command right here. sfc/scan now. So if you come here, when you hear about command, always think about going to your command line.
Command prompt. Yep.
Right? Go to your command prompt, open command prompt, and when the command prompt open, you type that command. Right?
A short way to type command prompt. You don't have to go to the search bar and type the whole command prompt. You can just type CMD.
Yep.
You don't want to be typing long words and stuff. There's always short ways to like get.
Yep. So you run a scan on your machine with this command. I don't want to scan mine now. It's gonna take a while, you know. So it's gonna run a scan on your machine, and then it's gonna tell you if your machine has issues. So that is a command to scan your machine from the command line. So you go ahead and you do that, right? And you can also, like I said, use Task Manager to monitor processes for system resource use. Any question on this? Okay. You guys are learning, you guys are getting all these skills and putting into practice, guys, because these are possible interview questions and you should explain them in a way that reflects that you've actually done it. So when you have time at home, sit and you do all these things on your machine to increase your system performance. I don't want anyone coming to class and tell me my machine is misbehaving. No, after this knowledge, your machine should not misbehave anymore, right? Nice.
Jada, you probably want to go into that application installation at once.
Okay, so
yeah, because we won't have that much time to cover a lot of stuff today.
So, okay, so we're gonna be installing a couple of applications that we're gonna use moving forward. So let me give you a list of the applications that we're gonna install today.
While he's doing that, does anyone have like any questions that you're doubting somewhere? Right now, we're open to questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll ask something about increasing the computer performance. How about like optimizing drives? Does it also help to increase performance?
When you say optimizing your drive, what do you mean? Like actually, like in what way?
Defragmenting.
They don't fragment anymore because right now storage is not really a problem in most companies. Like storage right now is very cheap, right? So
yeah, right now
when we started using computers way back, people didn't have money to spend, so they'll take the drive and fragment it and try to partition it into various segments to save storage. Right now, storage is cheap. You know,
so to save cost,
by default, there are some fragments that when you install you install an operating system, by default your system will fragment that disk just to organize it to put files in some specific locations. You know, so disk right now you see a lot of this fragmentation happening, or they call it partitioning. But the reason they are partitioning is just to organize, because you don't want to take all files and dump in one place. You know, so they'll partition the disk and put like boot files here, database files this way, you know, system application files you put in another drive, you know. So they do that, but not because of performance, rather because of organization
and storage wise.
Yes. So this is the first application we're going to install, Oracle VirtualBox, and then we're going to install VMware Player.
Let me see if I have that software. I'll just put it on Slack so everybody can copy from there. No need to go download it again.
And then
let me see my application.
WinSCP. And then Mobile XM.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Then you should start installing it yourself.
Yeah.
And then password safe. And then POTI, very important. Oof.
WinSCP.
Yeah, WinSCP is already there.
Oh, okay.
And then TeamViewer. And Wireshark. And then we're gonna probably do this as a homework to download an ISO image. So which ISO do you want to use for Windows, Kingsley? 2012 or 2016?
Let's do. They can download both, because I know we'll start with the 2012. They can go to 20. But you want them to use just one, right?
Yeah, one is fine. Maybe we can do 2016.
Yeah, let's do 16 since the most updated one. We'll do 16. Yeah. Should I just put it on the Google Drive, or?
If you have the ISO, if you already download the ISO, Kingsley, you can just put it in the drive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I have the ISO already, so I'll put it in the drive. You guys can get it from there.
Okay.
But I'll put this at the end of the day. But for now, let's.
Okay, so let me show you everyone watch me and then you do this. These things are very, very straightforward to do, right? So I already have all the applications on my machine. So I'll just show you how to install them. So go to Google, right? When you go to Google, you just type download Oracle VirtualBox. That is it. You click on it. It's gonna open like this. Guys, watch. I don't want you to tell me, please repeat it again, because I'm just going. We are running out of time. So you come right here, you click on go to download later. Go to download, you click right there. This is why I said I want everybody in class to have a Windows machine. If you don't have a Windows machine, please go get a Windows machine. So we're all gonna be on the same page, because I don't wanna go through telling you how to install it on Windows and then go and telling you how to install it on Mac. Apple and Mac, they are complicated. They have their ways of handling installations, which is gonna slow the class down. Everything in Mac with installation and other stuff that is straightforward on Windows is kind of complicated on Mac. So if you have a Mac computer, please, I said it in the beginning of the class, I said it when I was registering people for the course, you need a Windows machine. So I know it's gonna be extra money for you, Mr. Emeka, but please try to get a Windows machine, because we don't wanna leave you behind. And you're one of my brightest students, so you need to be at the front. So,
thank you very much.
So please, when you open it, come here, select Windows host. You click on Windows host, it's gonna start the download. Look at it right here, it's already downloaded on my machine. So everybody go ahead and do that.
Hold on, I'm just gonna send you guys a link on a Slack for where you have the applications. You don't really necessarily have to go download it. Let me just send you guys a link.
Yeah.
I made them a folder in Google Drive, so you guys can all have
download. Yeah. So when you download it, click and run the executable. You see .exe. When you download an application, it is known as an executable file, and you have to run the executable. So it's gonna be like this. Click next all the way to the end. You don't need to worry about, just keep clicking next, 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 next until it installs.
So in there we have VirtualBox is already in there. There's WinSCP, and then there's Party. I'm gonna get the other ones later. The ISO image, I'll get the ISO image later by the end of today, because that one is gonna be you guys your homework project. So if you click the link that I just sent you on Slack, you should see it, and you should bring it to your Google Drive.
Yes.
Do the VirtualBox one first.
So has everyone installed VirtualBox? Biden, you should already have a VirtualBox, right? You're muted, Biden.
Yeah, I just updated the new version.
Okay, yes, exactly. Just update. That's good. So when you're installing, look at the version 6.1. I think in the last session, Biden, we had 5.8. I think so. This is the new one that just came out, 6.1.
Yeah, the new one. I have the new one in there, 6.1.
And class, sorry, I forgot to introduce Mr. Biden. Biden is a returning student. He was in class last session. He was my best student in class. The most lively student in class. He used to keep the class funky,
Yeah.
And Biden had so many personal stuff going on, so he had to take a break to go take care of issues. And we're happy that he's taking care of issues, and he's right back. He's right back. So that is why I told you guys, giving up in this class is not an option. Biden did 1 month with us, or maybe a little above 1 month in the last session, and then he had personal challenges. He dropped out, but he paid his complete tuition. He paid everything. And then he told me, hey, I'm coming back next session. So that tells you Imagine somebody is paying money upfront to tell me I'm coming back when you're done. So he paid and he's returning back. You know, that shows you the passion and dedication he has. And with that kind of energy, he's going to succeed. So welcome back, Mr. Biden. I'm excited to have you once more.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything. Thank you, guys.
And just so you guys know, Mr. Biden is in Rhode Island, and he's always around Massachusetts. So those in Boston, you have a brother by your side that you can always share resources with and communicate with.
So probably I'll meet you, Mr. Biden somewhere.
Oh, are you from Mass?
I live in Boston.
Oh my God, I need to come live with you now.
Yeah, so Faith, if you find yourself around Rhode Island or the Brockton area, give Mr. Biden a call and you guys can talk some IT, challenge him.
Senior Kingsley, sorry, where in Boston are you?
I live in Randolph, Kenton area.
Oh, Randolph.
Oh, you are right by where I live, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Oh, okay. Then please, you might have to put a restraining order on me because I'm not letting you go free.
No, you gotta go by my schedule though. If you wanna see me, I mean, give me a shout out or maybe send me a Slack message. We can probably arrange a schedule, meet something, or I can set a session. We can always meet.
Yeah, sure. I will definitely do that.
Jonathan, don't worry, don't mind Kingsley. Show up, you open the door.
And that goes for all of you guys too. Not
yeah. Okay, that's good. I work right around Easton.
Oh, you work in Easton?
Yeah.
Wow.
Easton and Franklin. I'm always in between Easton and Franklin.
Okay. So those in Texas, all over. I'm in Houston, but I'm
all over the place.
So, Mr. Bila, if you need me, call me. I will show up in San Antonio. Ola, if you need me, I always come to Dallas. Emeka, you know where to find me. Just give me a call.
Okay, I need you. So where should I be expecting you?
It depends.
You said anytime I need you today.
It depends.
So, Gerard, for Mr. I think Bismarck, are you the one having issue with mirror image or no?
Yeah.
What image? Man. What are you installing, Bismarck?
We cannot hear you on mute.
Oh, okay. I've downloaded the VirtualBox 6.1, and I was wanting a hint, not you doing it, but just to give a hint on how I've downloaded the ISO image, but I need a mirror to configure the other one, mobile extend.
We'll come to that. Don't worry.
Yeah,
okay,
mirroring.
Okay,
yeah, we'll come to mirroring.
Oh,
We're not
okay,
there. Mirroring.
Okay.
So you don't need a mirror to configure mobile extern. Mobile extern is an application that you use to do remote connections, and you can also use to do file transfer. Let me open the one I have. Okay, mobile extern.
Yeah, I need to get that one later.
Yeah, Kingsley, get it. It's very nice. You can use it to do RDP. You can use it to do SSH. You can use it to do file transfer.
Wow, so it's pretty much like same like SCP and POTI.
Yes. So you can. The thing is, it's all in one. Then all the sessions that I do, like these are machines that I've connected to. So if I need to connect to these machines again, I don't need to open POTI, and I just need to double click on this, and it's going to connect to that machine. You see, so you can do, you can come here, you can open different terminals, you know, you can start a terminal here, and I do an SSH connection directly into some machine, you know, so it's very nice. Very, very nice. So are we done installing VirtualBox?
I need to give them permission to the drive. It looks like. Okay,
so you can do what I just showed you guys if that method is delaying.
Yeah, that you can use that any other time, but I'm just gonna put it there. But for now, you guys can just go download it while I'm doing it.
So go and do a direct download. while we find the links for you, download Oracle VirtualBox. You click on go to download. I've already select Windows host. As soon as you select that, it's going to start downloading. When it downloads, double click on the executable and run the executable to install it on your machine. It's going to keep asking you to click next, 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 next. Click next all the way to the end, and it's going to start the installation.
Yeah, everything should be
install
default
it on your machine. That is that for Oracle VirtualBox. Let's go to VMware Player. We're going to do the same thing. Download.
Real quick, I have downloaded it, and it just shows me tools and nothing else on the screen. So we just leave it like that for now until next class or next time we touch on this.
When you download it, run the executable to install it.
No, I've installed it.
You've installed it?
Yeah, he already installed it. He got to the part where now you need to add a virtual machine, but you don't.
Yes,
we're not there yet.
Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna show you how to use it.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, so tomorrow I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna explain to you what you downloaded, what all these applications are, how we're gonna use them. You've just installed VirtualBox. So VirtualBox is used to do virtualization. So I will teach you how to use VirtualBox tomorrow and virtualize. So install VMware Player. Go ahead and download and install this one. VMware Player is going to take you to vmware.com, which you're going to click here.
Sorry, Jared, are you going to give us a list of everything that we're going to download, or you just
I'm making the list? This is the list right here.
Yeah, but I'm still putting the application in the Google Drive. You can always go there to that link that I just sent you guys on Slack. All those applications that he's telling you guys right now is already going to be there.
I don't have Slack.
You don't have Slack?
We're gonna fix your Slack. Don't worry, we're gonna fix.
Yeah, we're gonna fix yours.
Oh, okay.
You sent Kinsley, you sent something on the
Slack chat. Yeah, it's a link. That's a link to the drive that we have all those applications that are already downloaded in there. You just gotta just go click and install it on your machine.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. So you have two ways of doing it. If you want to do it the way Kinsley is saying, he's already pulled the URLs and he's put it in a Google Drive. You just go click on the URL and download. Or you do it the way I'm showing you. Go to Google, type download the name of the application, go to the website, and you download from there. Right. But Jude, these are the applications. This is everything that we're gonna need. So if you want to go ahead of the class and you start downloading and installing all of these applications, I'll really appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah. So VMware Player, WinSCP, Mobile XTEM, it's the same way. Just go to Google, download WinSCP. You know.
Quick question, Gerald.
Yes.
Can you share this notepad with us, maybe after class, or drop it in our
yes.
Definitely.
Drive.
I always share it.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. Please, when I share a document, comment on receiving the document, because people just stay quiet. I don't know if it actually goes through or you don't see it or you don't see it, which is the same thing I'm saying. That's how we do it at work. When your boss shares something or even hi, you have to respond. We are not being responsive, and it's not a good habit. You know, so I will share it immediately after class. And where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it in the Windows notes on the drive. I'm not going to put it in Slack. No. So it's going to be in the Windows notes folder. We all know how to get there. If you go there, you're going to see it right there.
Senior Gerald, so which one do you want us to download? The 16 Pro, the VMware 16 player for the Windows?
6.1.
For the VMware player, you're not installing the Pro. The Pro is a professional edition. That's the one I have. They're gonna charge you for that, unless you have some money to start paying VMware.
Not yet.
Okay, so download the free edition.
Yeah, I went to the website. Pretty much follow your direction, and it says try workstation 16.0 player for Windows. Is that the one that you want?
That is the one, exactly.
All right, sir. Thank you.
That is the one. So guys, go ahead, install all of this.
Yeah, if anybody's having any issues,
if you
just
have
let us know.
any issue, speak up so we'll help you.
Which one do I need to get next? I think it's TeamViewer. Yep.
We are downloading the 0 for Windows. That's correct.
Say that again.
We're downloading the 16.0 for Windows, not the one for Linux, correct?
Yes. We haven't started doing Linux. So everything you are downloading should be for Windows, please. Because you cannot download a Windows software, a Linux software, and you are throwing it on a Windows machine. So you are downloading something that's supposed to be running on a Linux OS to run on a Windows OS. It's not going to work. So make sure.
So I'm trying to download
I
that.
try to go back to Google.
One at a time, please.
No,
Barry, go ahead.
I say I tried to go back to Google, but it's not coming back. Huh? What to fix? Just fix it.
You try to go to Google.
To download those applications.
So if you open Google Chrome, did you open Google Chrome on your machine, right?
The problem is that the page that Gerald just put on the screen. I tried to get away from that one and to go to.
Jared, do you think I'm going to be able to do this on the Chromebook?
You can. You just need to go to YouTube. No, Chromebook. No. I had to.
I just tried right now and it's not working.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Jude can share his experience with you with Chromebooks. So right now, Mr. Jude is getting a new Windows laptop. You know, it's the same thing. I told him in the beginning, and I told you too. So just go get a Windows machine, because with Chromebooks are running Linux in the background. Same with Apple. You know, they're gonna be stubborn with all these applications. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The VMware player to download, is it 16.1?
Yes.
The one that says download the text path, or?
Jared, just open one on your machine so they can see.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm literally, there's so many different.
Okay. Yeah, you always see a different version.
Okay, that's a Walker station.
Okay. You see this one right here? This is what you're getting. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah,
this is what you're getting. So if I click on download now, it's gonna get it. That is it. It's already downloading on my machine. So, Mr. Bama, what is your problem, Barry?
No, I tried to go to Google, to put that application and to download, as you said, but I couldn't go to Google, It's not coming back.
So open a new tab, come right here, you click on new tab, open a new tab. On the tab, you open Google here, open google.com on the tab, and then you just type download whatever you want to download.
Okay.
And it's gonna take you there.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cesar, are you all set? Any help? You need help? Okay, good.
What about you, Miss Faith? Or you're just watching? You're on mute.
Faith, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, I just finished downloading the VMware. I'm moving to the.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Just keep going down the list. Let me put it on my screen. So here's a list right here. So keep on downloading and installing. Same process. When you get here, please stop. I'm gonna show you how to do this one. When you get to Windows Server, stop. I'll show you how it's done. But the other ones is straightforward. Download, install. When you download, please make sure you run the application to install it on your machine. Don't download and leave it there, okay? Ebenezer, you have been very quiet. I haven't heard your voice today. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but I'll have to leave soon to go to work.
Okay.
Just one question about this WinSCP. It's there's a message box which asks install for all users or install for me only.
All users.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because if somebody else signed on that computer, the person can use it as well. But if you want it just for your purpose, that's when you start going on there. You try to put a you're putting a parameter on it, or else you don't want to do because it's your personal computer. So, but if it's a workplace, sometimes you probably want to set it just for only the only user, or you don't want to put it for every user because someone else can sign in that computer and use that same. It happens like that for some applications, depending on the group policy that the company sets.
For the mobile X-Term Home Edition, is it the portable edition or the installer edition?
Take the portable one. Okay, so I think since we're running out of time, you can install the rest as your homework. For those who've not submitted their homework, please, 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 I'm pleading with you, sending it today so we can fix it. All right. And then let's talk about.
Should we resend the homework with our names on it?
Yes, because if you don't put your name, I'm not gonna know who it's coming from.
Yeah.
So I saw Jarvis's homework. I'm gonna go over it.
I think
you can't know with the email address.
Because it just shares the homework to me, right?
It doesn't tell me.
It doesn't show the email. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Quick question. I installed VMware. It's requesting a restart, and I can't even find the application, so I might have to restart it to actually be able to find it.
Yeah.
Is that normal behavior?
Yeah, you can do that after class. You don't need to restart right now because it's going to kick you out of class. So hang on and do that after class. So please make sure, Jonathan, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's asking for a license for the VM player, the workstation. Are we going to be provided a license to
do the one without a license?
No, you are supposed to. You're supposed to install the one that is not asking for a license. The VMware player is free. The Pro editions, they'll ask you for a license.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I have the software in the one without a license. I have it in the drive, but you can always do that one later on. I mean, let me set I'm going to give everyone access to download it after the class.
Thank you, Kingsley. So before we go, it's time to end the class. I have one question I'm going to ask, and it's a technical question, and I will need Mr. Jude to answer the question. So, Mr. Jude, you are the IT personnel of your company. I come to you with my laptop. I work in HR, and I said, the screen on my laptop is cracked. I can still work on the laptop, but the screen is cracked, and sometimes it's giving me issues. And I give it to you, Mr. Jude. Walk me through the process. What are you going to do?
You mean like the screen is cracked?
Yeah.
And I can't see through the screen or nothing.
You can see. You can see the crack on the screen. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna like you want me to fix it, like the screen is cracked and the computer is not running or what?
You're a tech guy.
Based on what we've discussed in class about you handling hardware, about the IT department being in charge of hardware, computers, printers, everything. You're the IT folk. I've brought my machine to you. My screen is cracked, right? What are you gonna do? I'm not gonna tell you if you have to fix it or not, or at that point, what are you gonna do as IT folk? Based on what we did last week and up to this point, you're the IT person right now. So, IT guy, this is my machine, my screen is cracked. What is the standard procedure that as an IT person you're gonna follow? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try to identify the problem by applying the boot process. You know, to
Okay.
I'm gonna
so you treat
yes.
this as an interview. You're in an interview right now. I'm the hiring manager. So
Yeah.
I bring my machine to you, the screen is cracked, right? And you tell me you have, Mr. Judy, you have 4 years of IT experience handling both hardware and software. So you'd have handled machines. So in the company that you worked at or that you're working in right now, how do you manage, how do you go about handling machines? A problem like that, I bring my machine to you, the screen is cracked, you're the IT folk, how do you handle that?
Okay. So the question that I'm trying to ask you is like you're not telling me if it's only the machine is still like working or it's completely off or it's only the screen that is cracked.
Okay.
So I don't even
pick any scenario. Let's say I bring 2 machines to you. One, the screen is damaged, it's not working. The other one, the screen is cracked, but it's still working. Choose anyone and answer the question.
Okay, so I'm going to choose the one, like you said, is cracked and it's not working. So, like I said, I'm going to try to identify the problem. And to identify the problem, I have to boot the computer to be able to identify the problem. So I'm going to switch the computer and start the operating system. Then apply. Let me use the term, which is the BIOS and setup of the program, and then do the operating system load, system configuration. Try to identify what's the problem.
So just to add to what, just for you to clarify that question. First of all, the question says your screen is cracked.
Yeah. Listen to the problem. I haven't said I have a software issue.
Not even go to that part. Let's not go too far. Let's not go too far.
My machine is fine. It's just a cracked screen.
Yes. So first of all, the screen is already cracked.
So I'm telling you,
when your screen is cracked, that means.
So if I'm digest the question before you answer, right? It's a hardware problem. It's not a software problem. That's the first thing you should think about. I'm talking about a cracked screen. That is hardware. You can touch it.
So
it's not a software problem.
Let me make the question in a little bit another way. Like, let's say, for instance, right, my machine was working yesterday, and during the process of me coming to the office this morning, I tripped and I fell, and my screen cracked. And I come to you like, oh, my screen is cracked. Can you try to troubleshoot this machine for me so I can get this going by today? What is going to be your process?
Me, I'll say replace the screen.
You are an IT person. You are an IT person. Then you're telling instant me to replace the screen.
Okay, so guys, let me say something. What we're doing right now is very important, and this is how you're going to be answering questions at interviews. So you're not going to be telling the interviewer, I would say, remember, you've done it. So you are telling that you are coming to that interview as somebody who've done it. So you are not second guessing. You are not telling the person that maybe I will do. You are confidently saying that this is the procedure I will take. These are the steps I will follow. And you have to make sense in what you're saying. And you have to sound confident.
Gerard, can I answer the question or no?
No, I want to give them a try and then I'll answer the question. Miss Finn, you want to take it again, or Jonathan, you want to take it?
Yeah, let me try.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, Jonathan, go ahead.
You're on mute. Oh, okay.
Okay, so I was at work when a customer approached me about the screen that is cracked. So as an IT person, these are the steps that I use to fix that problem. Since it's a cracked screen and me being an IT admin, I have to first of all see if I can get like a similar laptop that is compatible with what he has and remove the RAM and the hardware and transfer it to a similar laptop that is compatible with what she has.
Okay,
Then
you've gone too far here.
So,
no, that's a good step. That's
interesting
another
answer.
step.
But let me ask you. Let me tell you. Let me just
Can
say
I
this,
try to
right?
answer?
Okay, Emeka. Yes. Let me just comment on what Jonathan said before Emeka comment. So Jonathan, at work, you have standby machines that are ready to go.
Yep,
So are you going to tell me you're going to open a new machine that has never been unboxed to take the RAM to put in a new machine to an old machine that has a RAM problem? Are you going to do that?
All right, scratch that.
Are you going to go to a fully functional machine that is there, ready to go to remove the RAM and replace?
Emeka, go ahead.
Okay, Emeka, go ahead with your own.
If a screen is cracked, I think the first thing you do, you ask the employee, how did the screen crack? I think that was the first thing you asked him.
No, he already gave you the reason why it cracked. He tripped while he was coming to the office.
Okay, so if the screen is cracked, then it's not usable. So you have to get permission to is it called delog it, and then issue the employee another laptop.
All right. Anybody else want to try?
Okay.
Let me try again.
Let Bila come in. Bila come in.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe I'll connect it to using like HDMI cable, connect it to another computer so that I can share the screen to see if the damage attack had anything like this.
Mr. Bila, you're breaking up. I think you have a network connectivity issue on your side. But
anyone else?
What he said is he's going to use an HDMI, connect that machine to an external monitor, and then start troubleshooting from the external monitor, which is a smart answer. But I want someone to say something that I haven't heard. Yep. Jonathan,
okay, let me try again.
Yes.
So I'll pretty much give the user a new computer, then configure or give the user permissions that is related to the work that he does. So let's say, for instance, if it's a person working at HR, I know the HR, we have to give certain permissions. So I'll just, give the user a new laptop and assign those permissions to the user so that they can go and work.
Yeah, so the problem you've taken care of is making the user go back to work. But now you're still, the problem that the user brought to you is still in your hands. How do you fix that problem? Because you've just simply transferred the problem. You've given a solution that, okay, I'll give you another machine to start work so your work don't get interrupted. But you still have the problem in hand, right? So the problem is not solved.
But if the screen is cracked, once you issue the employee another laptop, what you do is
let me answer.
Last week, Kingsley.
Let me give the answer. Let me give them the answer. Yeah. Then you add to it. So with this kind of process, right? When you work for a company and you see a situation like that, first things first, you give the user a new machine so he can go away, so you can take care of the problem at hand. Because when the user is standing next to you, it's going to be too much tension to you. Second thing, when the user is gone, you've assigned them another machine, because all you just got to do a single sign-on on the machine. The user takes it and go do his work. The second thing now that I talked about last week, you work for a company. All those machines are under warranty. All those machines are under warranty. As you take that machine with you,
serial number.
You put the serial number. You go to the what if it's a Dell or it's a Lenovo or it's a HP. You go to hp.com or lenovo.com or dell.com. You put in the serial number. If that machine is still under warranty, you call customer support for Lenovo, for Dell, for HP, and tell them that you have a machine here with a cracked screen. That is all you have to do. All they're gonna do, if that machine is still under warranty, they assign a box and ship to you. You put in that machine in the box, send it to them. It's no more your problem. It is no more your problem. The only problem you have to worry is your user that you have at hand, getting him another machine, because when you're in a company, all your machines, you guys have a pile of machine that's already ready to go. All you just got to do is put in the username and the password. Everything from his old machine is going to clone over to his new machine using what they call OneDrive. There's OneDrive that you use on your machine that clones everything from your old machine to the new machine. So all companies have those OneDrive signed into all users. All users are signing to OneDrive on their machine. If I save a file on my machine today, it's saved automatically in OneDrive. Let's say that machine crashed today. All I need is my username and password. I log into a different machine. Everything from that old machine goes over. So when that user comes in front of you with a cracked screen, first thing first, you take a new machine, ask for the username and password. You sign in, it loads up all his application back on the new machine. You give him to go away. Your next step now is you now trying to figure out to do with that machine so you can get, you can replace that machine that you just gave the user.
Excellent.
You call support.
Excellent.
You call a support, because with your company, you don't have to deal with like break and fix or try to move one or two things from back. No, you don't have that time. That's why they put warranties. That is why the companies put warranties on machines, so you don't have to deal with that time. That's a downtime for you already.
Exactly.
Yep.
Excellent answer. Trainer.
That is very simple. You just go take your serial number. The first, if they ask you in an interview, I'm going to grab the serial number, check if the warranty is still up to date. I call support, the company support, whether if it's Dell, HP, or Lenovo. You call customer support and tell them that this is what it is. They're going to ask for your company address. They might already have it on file because you guys always do stuff. They will just ship you a box. You put the laptop in it, send it back to them. Once they're done with it, they send it back to you. That's all.
Excellent.
Except,
guys,
yeah.
he needs to follow this procedure. The way he's
Yeah.
explaining, your answer needs to follow this procedure.
That
because
procedure.
when you listen to him, it reflects somebody who's done it than someone who's all over the place.
And you did not hear me. You did not hear me at any point. I said I would do this. No, I said this is what I did because I've already done it in the past.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
I did not say I would do this, because when you start saying I would do this, it sounds as if you're trying to create a scenario.
Exactly.
You're not creating a scenario. You're telling them what you've already done. Since you have 4 years experience on your resume, you want to be able to like back that 4 years experience on your resume. Tell them that this is what I've done.
Yeah, that's smart. That's
There's
smart.
no warranty anymore on the laptop.
That was the next step.
Every company will always have warranty on their machines. They
Yes.
have money. It's not like you and I, when our warranty expires, you just keep working.
But
you're working with an enterprise, right? Yeah. They will always make sure that their machines are under warranty. You know, most at times. But if there is a scenario where that machine is not under warranty, then you can have a situation where you send it to another department within your job that handles hardware.
Yeah, break and fix.
Right? The break and fix department, they'll be the ones to take that machine and open the machine up to start replacing screen. But most companies don't have time for that. They have their machines under warranty. The warranty expires, they extend it. And part of your job as an IT personnel is to track the warranty of machines and make sure the warranties are extended.
It's up to date. And some companies,
are they going to bring back the same laptop to you, or
yes, they're just going to fix it. They'll replace the screen with a new screen.
All they're going to do is replace the screen, because it's only the screen because hear what the question says. It was working fine yesterday, and I'm coming in today to work, and I tripped. That means the computer is still fine. It's just the screen that cracked. So now they're just going to replace the screen and give you a new screen, and on that same machine, and send it back to you. For you to confirm that was the same machine, you send out back to the serial number.
Okay, I have another question. Who remembers how to check your serial number? How do you check your serial number, Miss Faith?
You can check it at the back of the computer.
I'm your boss. I'm standing in front of you.
Yeah, if your boss is standing in front of you, like
how do you check your serial number? How do you do? You lift the machine up and start looking below?
No, you wouldn't do that.
Okay, what do you do?
There are ways you go through it in the laptop to get the serial number out.
How do you
I
do it?
think you type. There's some things you type. I remember you typed it that day, but
There are two ways you can go.
There's some stuff to get the serial number out, though.
There are only two ways.
There are two ways.
You can look around the machine, which is you
No,
don't
there
want
are
to do
actually
that
three.
because it shows that you are unprofessional. You are not an IT person.
Gerald,
So you
they're
do it
actually
through the command line, and I showed you. I gave you the command last week. Who can tell me that command?
Okay, WMIOS. Is it that?
You're close. Who can tell me the command? Jonathan, go ahead.
WMIC BIOS get serial number.
Excellent, smart.
And then there's a third way too. You can still go to your search menu there. Just type system information.
Yes, so
you're gonna pull up your system information.
Yes, so you can actually do this too. System information will give you more information.
Right.
Like if you type here on your search bar, this search bar is very important. System information, you click right here. It's gonna give you
everything.
a lot more information about your machine. You know, look at operating system name, version, you know, system name, manufacturer is gonna give you all this. Processor speed, SIM-BIOS version, all these things are under system information. You know, you can come to hardware resources,
component, software environment.
You know, it's gonna give you more stuff. So system information has a lot of information. So you can come here too.
You can also check your time zone too in here, because a lot of companies always have issues with time zone. Like somebody can be in Eastern time, but he's getting the Pacific time. How do you troubleshoot that too as well? There's a whole lot.
Okay.
Control panel is one place.
So I'm gonna ask one more question and then we'll bounce. Okay. So you have a machine. A user brings their machine and they tell you their wireless card has a problem, but they are not sure. Let's say the user tripped and fell, and the user can actually hear like sounds coming from the machine when he shakes the machine. You can hear like things are moving within the machine, right? It could be the wireless card or something, and they bring the machine to you and say, I tripped, I fell, I hit my machine on the ground, and I've booted the machine. The machine is booting up, but it's just acting slow. It's just a whole lot of problems. How are you going to troubleshoot that machine? And remember, it's a hardware issue because I said the machine fell. So it's not a software issue. The machine fell. So maybe it fell and some parts moved within the machine. Maybe the wireless card was distorted, or maybe something happened, something disconnected in the motherboard. You have that machine as an IT person. What are you going to do? Anyone can try? Bila, go ahead.
I will give them a new machine, check for the company warranty, and then send it back.
It's different from the other question because
I think I'll do the same like previous.
Okay, let me ask a follow-up question.
Have to do, I think,
you check
what I would do.
You check if the machine is under warranty. The machine is under warranty. I am Lenovo, for example. It was a Lenovo machine. I'm the Lenovo customer service. You call me and you say you've checked the serial number of this machine and it's under warranty, so I want to ship it to you. Here's the question I'm going to ask you as a customer service person. What is wrong with the machine? You need to tell me what is wrong. The first one, we said it was a screen because we knew the screen cracked. So we could tell that it was a screen problem. So when they received the machine, they knew that they are replacing the screen. This one, you haven't told me what the problem is. So I'm the customer service guy. Yes, I see it's under warranty. What is the problem? What are we fixing when you send it to us?
I think I'm going to boot up the machine in order to identify the problem.
So you boot up the machine boots up, but it's not behaving as it used to behave in terms of functionality. It's not functioning at 100%.
I think you have to go and run the BIOS and see how the BIOS is operating. If the BIOS is not operating from there.
This has to do with Wi-Fi. He's talking about the wireless connections.
So I gave you an example. I said I damaged my wireless card, for example. I'm suspecting that I damaged my wireless card. But let's say it's not a wireless card problem. Look, those people that are using your colleagues at work, and they're gonna be non-IT people, right? So you can have somebody from HR saying that I know it's my wireless connection. They are not sure, they're just guessing. You are the IT person that need to determine if what they are saying is true, right? So maybe the person is saying is their wireless card that is not functioning, and they bring it to you as an IT folk, IT professional. Are you just gonna take the word of somebody from HR who says, no, I know it's my wireless card? You're not sure, right? So you need to find out what is actually wrong with that machine. What are you gonna do, Jonathan?
I'm still thinking about it, so give me
Okay.
a few minutes.
Anyone can try. I don't want us to spend.
Oh,
Faith, go ahead. Faith, unmute yourself.
I want to say something. I don't know if it's
Go ahead. No, there's no stupid answer. Go ahead. That's how we learn. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Okay. I would say as the technician, I would open up the laptop. I'll leave it open, scroll it out, and check the adapter ports where the cards are being placed to find out if something is actually broken from it.
Okay, so you do that, nothing is broken from it. All the adapters are in shape. Everything is well connected. It's not an adapter problem. But before you even go ahead to open the machine,
before you even open the
start
machine,
opening the machine, you should
want
be
to troubleshoot
sure
first.
what you're going to look. You cannot just start on screen the machine just to correct that. Anyway, let me go ahead and answer the question, not to keep you guys. Remember last week, Kingsley spoke about doing hardware diagnostics. You need to run a hardware diagnostics on that machine. And there are two ways he said we could run hardware diagnostics. You can run a hardware diagnostics from the BIOS when the machine is booting up. You press F12 or F2 or F10, depending on the machine, and you go in there and you run your hardware diagnostics test. I can do it right now, but it's going to disconnect this session. Or you use the software, the second way, which is the most popular way. Use the diagnostic tool that is provided by the machine,
Microsoft.
right? If it is a Lenovo machine, you use the Lenovo diagnostic software.
If it's Dell, it's Dell.com.
Dell, you use the Dell diagnostic software. Every machine will have its diagnostic software on that machine. You use that software and you run the hardware diagnostic test. So I'm using a Lenovo machine right now. Let me share my screen for a moment and show you.
And while he's doing that, I can just clarify you guys one more thing. When he said, if the user comes to you, keep telling you that it's a Wi-Fi. One way to just disprove the user is that you can check the machine. If the machine is on, you can just tell them that the Wi-Fi is connected. So that means the Wi-Fi is not bad. If you can see the Wi-Fi connected, that means there's no problem with the Wi-Fi.
And guys, pay attention to this. You are the IT folk.
Yeah.
The other guy, the non-technical IT people, they're not the ones telling you what
to do
wrong with the machine. You are the one to determine what is wrong. An average user can tell you anything. You're not going to tell your boss, no, he told me it was the Wi-Fi. So I checked and the Wi-Fi is fine. So you're going to be like, we are paying you all this money. You are the professional. You're going to take the word of a non-professional to be the problem? No, you need to troubleshoot. So every machine has their diagnostic tool. I'm using a Lenovo, right? My diagnostic tool is the Lenovo Vantage. You see, Lenovo Vantage application is part of my machine. If I click, it's going to open like this. If you are using Dell, you need to. I don't know the
Dell is the one with Dell is called Dell Command. Dell Command update.
You just need to Google whatever diagnostic tool is used on your machine, and you run it. And look, within Lenovo Vantage, I can do a system update. It comes with a lot.
Yep.
And it tells me if my machine is under warranty or not. Here's my warranty information. It already tells me my warranty starts 2020, July 22nd. It ends 2021. You know,
July 2021.
This is how you look at the warranty of the machine, and you can extend the warranty. And look at my system information. I ran a hardware diagnostic 2 days ago. It's still telling me your device is in good condition. You know, it is also going to give me more information on security. You know, these are all the stuff that now look, system status, memory is a check. This space is a check. Warranty is a check. System update is a check. If anything is in red, let's say memory or disk is in red, I know that machine has a disk or memory problem. That's how Lenovo Vantage is going to tell me. But if you come up here and you go to, you click right here, and within here, I can run system update if I want. You know, I can go to these settings and I check my, if the person says, I have volume, I cannot hear audio settings, I can go to audio settings and I run a check there. It's going to tell me. I can check my password health. If I need to change my password, you know, I run a scan on that, you know. So that's what you do. Use this, and it's going to tell you a lot of things you can do. A lot.
And guys, as we go more further, there's always going to be question at the end of the class. So you guys gotta be ready. And all these questions that we're asking you, those are some of the questions that when you go for like a desktop support or one of those roles, they always ask you. These are similar things that we've gone through already. I went to almost like
look at this. Like if I go to
Hey,
more settings.
Kingsley, what do you type again to check the serial number? You said was system something?
System information.
Okay.
Just type system, it's gonna come up with system information.
So I can go, if it's a battery problem, I can tell from here if that machine had a battery problem. Remember, I said we don't know what was wrong with the machine. We are not sure. Let's say it was a battery. The machine is booting up. After a while, it goes off. You don't know if it's battery. You don't know if it's hardware. The battery is going to tell you that it's not holding charge. It's not 100%. The battery charges only to 20%, and then it runs out. And then you know it's a battery problem. So when you are calling Dell or you are calling Lenovo for warranty, you are telling them it's a battery problem. So they know exactly what they're replacing. But when you use the Vantage, it's going to tell you your battery is in good condition. It's going to tell you the amount of watts you're getting. And it's going to tell you it's connected right now. You can go and you look at more details. You know, so everything. So I can run, I can click here to check my battery usage and all that. So there is a lot of things you can do within this application. A lot, you know. So that is what you do. So any hardware problem, you will get it within the Lenovo Vantage. Like I said, every computer will come with their own hardware diagnostics tool. You need to find the hardware diagnostics tool on your machine, and you run the hardware diagnostics, and it's going to tell you what is wrong with your machine.
What was the one that he talked about for Dell, like the diagnostic tool for Dell?
Dell Command
And
Update.
if you're not sure, just Google it.
It's called Dell Command
Diagnostic
Update.
tool for Dell. It will tell you. Diagnostics tool for HP. It will tell you. Diagnostics tool for Samsung. It will tell you based on your machine. Click on that diagnostics tool, run a diagnostics on your machine. If there is any hardware issue, it's going to tell you. Now look at this, guys. This is what I want to show you. Look at this. Hardware scan. If you are not sure, you come in here, you click on hardware scan, right? And if I do a quick scan, it's going to scan my machine for any hardware issue. And it's going to give me the report. So if I have a power module failure, if any hardware on my machine that has a problem, after the quick scan, it's going to tell me.
As well, but we don't have the Toshiba one anymore. But the Dell ones comes with it.
Okay, thanks, Constant.
You're welcome. We can end for here today, right?
Yeah. So this is how you run the hardware scan, guys. So you come in here, you come down here, hardware scan, quick scan, you click on that. If I click on it, it's gonna start scanning my machine. I don't want to do that. And when it's scanned, it's gonna give me the results. And then from the hardware scan, you can tell what exactly is wrong with that machine. After running the hardware scan, go take your serial number and then call the customer support for Lenovo. And you tell them, okay, I'm facing a problem with this machine. It is screen is damaged, it is a fan model that is bad, or the wireless card that is down, and they're gonna
And
send
so,
you. That is it.
and sometimes too, when you call the support services, they'll walk you through on how to run the diagnostics as well with them, so they can get it from their own end. They have a way that they run their own diagnostic that it sends automatically information to them. So they'll do that with you too as well during the process, just to walk you through. Then you run the diagnostics, then they get the information from there. They themselves might even tell you like, this is what is going on with the computer, when you can see it as well too.
Yeah, so thank you guys. I think we're done for the day. I think it was a very productive class, and I hope that we've learned a lot.
And I'll see you guys tomorrow again.
Did anyone not learn today? Or it's a lot of information, right?
A lot of information to process.
We're gonna become professional at doing these things, you know. So guys, tomorrow I'll ask this question again. Let me just let you know.
Hello?
So Emeka,
Yes.
I'll ask you tomorrow to walk me through this process. And I'm not going to ask the question the same. I will twist the question around. So
Emeka, go ahead.
When we talk about the tax manager, is that the same thing as Control-Alt-Delete?
Control-Alt-Delete gives you a variety of options. It's not just task manager. Control-Alt is another way to get to the task manager, and Control-Alt is another way to reset your password. Control-Alt is another way to lock out your computer. Control-Alt-Delete is another way to switch your users. So if you do Control-Alt, it gives you a variety of options for what you want to choose. You can get to task manager by using Control-Alt-Delete. It's going to bring you to task manager, the option for you to select task manager. If you do Control-Alt-Delete, it's going to give you a way to switch your users of your computer. You can switch the user to another person to sign in. If you do Control-Alt-Delete, it's going to bring you to where you can change your password. So it has a whole different varieties. So it's not just the way to it's not just task manager itself.
Oh, okay. So what we're doing was not part of it was just part an extension of Control-Alt-Delete.
That's another way to get to task manager.
Okay.
Yes, it's another way to get to task manager. It's not that it's the actual task manager. That's not task manager. There's so many ways you can get to task manager, as we showed you earlier. That's just one of them.
Okay. So who didn't have fun today? Because I had fun.
I need about 2 bottles of water right now because my throat is dried.
All right. So
all right, guys.
I will see you tomorrow. And one more question. Did you guys watch the videos? I said 1 to 15. Did you guys watch it? Okay. Thank you.
I didn't get the Slack as I said, so I couldn't go into Slack.
Okay. Biden, we're gonna fix your Slack issue right after this. Who didn't watch the videos from 1 to 15? If you didn't, then you are 10 steps back.
I think I did watch the video previously. I'm thinking maybe it's the same video that you sent from the initial, the previous training.
Yes.
It is? Okay, so yeah. I think I watched everything.
If the class is gonna be smooth if you watch those videos, because I'm gonna be explaining these things in class, it's gonna be making sense. If you don't watch those videos, everything we're doing is just gonna sound new to you. And you're gonna be playing catch up. You're gonna be playing catch up, and you don't want to be playing catch up in this class. You need to be, so it's gonna get more intense. So please, self-discipline, tenacity. It's not easy. I understand. I mean, I'm in the same shoes you are in. We all have things we're doing. So don't get me wrong, and don't feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure. I just want us to develop some self-discipline and actually do what we're supposed to do. Biden, go ahead.
Yes, please. Just curiosity, just a little bit curious. What is the progress? Okay. What is the progress with the previous class? Anyone looking for a job, getting a job? Just to motivate everyone of us.
They are actively interviewing right now. So if you remember Sadrak is Jonathan's brother.
Yeah. Oh, really?
They live in the same house. So the guy is.
Yeah, I was trying to say they look almost alike.
Yeah. So he's actively he's gone to a couple of interviews. I have this guy in how you call him? I've forgotten his name. The guy in New Mexico. I've forgotten his name. He also had an interview last week. I think Etsinge has an interview coming next week. Mm-hmm. I think the other guy, did you meet? Okay, you didn't meet Saliku. Saliku came into the class after you left. Yeah. So Saliku has an interview on Monday. So today and tomorrow I have to prep him. We need to go through a lot of preparations. And then the other two guys, Elvis is moving to Florida. So he said he's taking a lot of time off because he's been packing, and when he goes to Florida, he's gonna start, you know. So in a nutshell, everybody's in the market right now. They are interviewing. Of course, the interview process is not easy. And it starts from what we're doing right now in class, how to answer all of these questions. And if you're not paying attention, then you go into an interview to ask you this question, and you come out of that interview regretting because you know that this is something you're supposed to answer. This is something we've done in class, but because you didn't practice it, you know. So everything is in the works, and I'm very, very confident that anytime from now, my students will be coming to give testimonies. And Jonathan, you live with your brother-in-law. You know how hard he's working, and you know he's interviewing. So
yeah, it's true.
So he's gonna come to class anytime from now and say, "Hey, I've gotten a 6-figure job, and this is what is going on. This is what I did. It wasn't easy. It's never gonna be easy, but all of us are capable of doing it."
Yeah.
And as we progress, guys, I'm gonna start sharing job opportunities with you guys.
Yeah, I get them come
When
my
we
way
get to
every
a certain
time.
level, I'm gonna put a job in this land. I say, guys, apply for this job. Apply for. I expect everyone to be able to apply for this job and go through the interview process. Yes, go ahead, Faith.
Mr. Gerard.
Yes.
The 6 figures you always talk about, is it that once you get out of the whole class and you get into the job market and you find a job, is it immediately you get paid that salary, or it's over time that you get paid?
You can grow your salary over time, right? But after you're done with this class, you are already at a certain level, whether you believe it or not. You are already a 6-figure earner by the time you're done with this training. You cannot go and call yourself a Linux engineer or an AWS engineer, and you're asking them to pay you $80,000. There's something wrong. There's gonna be like, oh, wait a minute.
Your minimum should be at least 120.
Are you serious? They're gonna know you're not serious. You know. So
and don't be shy about the money. Don't be shy to ask them the money.
Remember last week, Kingsley, I told you the story of Kingsley and I scrambling over this job.
Yeah.
He didn't know he was going in for the job. I didn't know he'd gone in for that job. He didn't know I was also interviewing for the same job. And he asked for 130K, I asked for 120K, and we had the same skills. And they're like, okay, let's give it to the guy that asked a little bit less. But he asked for 130K because he knew his worth.
I know what I'm worth, so.
He knew he was worth 130K. I knew I'm worth 130K. However, I can consider 120K. You see, so I went there a little bit flexible. He went there, no flexibility. Pay me or I'm out. You know? So this is gonna happen a lot. You know, it's gonna happen a lot. So you should know your worth. You should know your worth and be able to defend that word. Be able
now
to.
I know why the workload is so much, because earning that kind of 6 figures it takes a lot. So
be able to say $50 an hour, no.
Your minimum should be
$45 an hour, no.
You should start considering around $55 or $60, $62 an hour.
55, 60 an hour, let's talk.
Yeah.
$40 an hour, I'm not interested. Don't call my phone. And you hang up very fast. You don't even hang up very fast.
Yeah. Because they'll be the one chasing you, you chasing
they'll
them.
be the one chasing you. You don't want to be like you are the one chasing them.
Right now, I get calls. I still get calls every day, and I still get jobs opportunity every day. I tell them like, no, what? Just send it to me. I have somebody else who's interested. They keep sending me every day, and when they send it, I send it to whoever is looking or whoever is interested to move or go anywhere. Because when I look at the job description, it's not like what exactly I want. Because when you go now, you start calling them what your money that you're what. They'll be like, oh, you try to hustle them for what they got. No, you've read through the job description and you know what the workload is.
And then one thing too, you need to look at the job description. You don't want to come in overqualified.
Right.
Because they're gonna be like, this is a professor applying for a classroom position, a secondary school class position. They're gonna be like, what is wrong here? Your resume says you are a professor and you've gone to a secondary school. You want to teach in a high school. Something wrong.
Why are you bringing yourself low?
In that case, make a resume that reflects that you're a secondary school teacher. If you see a university position, make a resume that reflects you're a university professor. Don't use a university professor's resume and you apply for a secondary school or high school position, okay? It's happened to me. That one time I just sent in my resume. They called me, we went through the interview and they told me, bro, you are overqualified. Sorry, we'll not be able to pay you for this position.
Yeah, you go some places they'll tell you, yeah, you're too qualified for it.
You know,
I've been to a couple, I put my resume in front of them, they told me like, I'm too qualified for the position. They didn't even go further with the interview. Just look at my resume and
if
they just
you are
told me.
saying that you are disqualified, you should be able to defend that resume.
Right.
Because they're not gonna look at something
just a piece
else
of
when they're
paper.
asking you questions. They'll ask you questions based on your resume. And by the time they ask you, how do you replace memory on the machine, and you start being like, I will, or I.
We start stuttering, that's when they know, okay.
As soon as you leave that office, your resume goes into the shredder.
Very quick.
All right. So any other question before we leave?
All right, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't enjoy too much because tomorrow there's class tomorrow. So
okay, guys, finish up with the application installation. Right. Install all the applications, please. If you haven't submitted your homework, today is the day. Do it today. It only takes 1 hour, guys, to do the entire homework. 1 hour. If you're serious, 1 hour, you do it. Send it to me. If you are not done, or you find a question in the homework that's difficult, leave it blank. Submit what you've done. If you do only 1, 2, 3 questions, submit it, right? Than not even doing anything at all. You know, that will be the bad one. That's going to be real bad. So do what you can do, submit it. And please, let me go back to the videos. Watch from video 1 to 15. From tomorrow, Sunday, you're going to watch from 15 to 35. So if you haven't watched any, then you have video 1 to video 35 to go and watch. I'm sorry, Faith. And guys, here's the thing. The videos are short. There are some that are 3 minutes. There are some that are 5 minutes. Some are 10. You know, so it's not like the videos are 1 hour each. 3 minutes, video 1, 2 minutes, video 2, video 5, 5 minutes, video 7, 4 minutes. That's how the videos are. So it's not like 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. So please,
another way, just a quick tip.
You can take 2 hours and finish all those videos.
Just a quick tip on watching the videos. Don't sit in front of the computer for too long, just thinking that you just want to get rid of finish the video. No. Watch the video, understand it. If you're a little bit tired, just give it a pause. Maybe take a stroll, relax your brain a little bit, because sitting in front of this computer a lot, we can tell you out of experience. Sometimes I get watery eyes, like my eyes they get watery just because I look in front of it for too long. Sometimes I even fall asleep.
All right, guys, thanks so much for your time. I hope we had a productive session today. You know, practice everything we did today. Practice checking your system performance. Practice hardware diagnostics. Tomorrow, we're going to start with Kingsley's going to finish the rest of the hardware and show you some other technical stuff. And then I'm going to start introduction to networking. So if you don't watch the videos, tomorrow, everything I'm going to be saying is going to sound abstract and foreign to you. And I don't want that. So that's why I always want you to go watch the videos, get a teaser, get some understanding. So when I start explaining tomorrow and showing you the practical session, it's going to make sense. So please go ahead and do that. Watch the videos today as much as you can. And because I'm going to start networking tomorrow, go to the networking section. You can watch the first 10 videos in the networking site just to get your feet wet on what networking is all about.
Don't get too scared. It's going to be easy. We're still in the shallow part of the water. When we start going deep in the ocean side, that's when you start feeling intense.
I'll come find you, Mr. Kingsley.
Okay.
All right. I already know for a fact. I think, Gerald, you spoke about him in the previous training. I'm thinking it's him that you talked about.
Say that again.
I think you talked about Mr. Kingsley in our first training.
Yeah, I spoke. Yeah, I mentioned Kingsley a lot in the first.
Yeah, me and him, we used to live in Boston before he moved to Texas.
Then that's it. Then it's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he left Boston and came to the best city in the world.
Really?
Yeah. Boston is like the tech hub in the US. You know, a lot of IT jobs in Boston.
Because all the big companies, that's where all the big corporate companies are all there. What do you expect?
And recently, The next hub is going to be Austin right now.
Austin,
so Boston
Austin
and then
is
Austin,
already-
Texas. They are the two, like, and then of course Silicon Valley. So you have Boston, Austin, and Silicon Valley. Those are the three hot places. But anyone can drop off right now. Class is over. We are just talking extra stuff. You know, what we are saying now is not useful for class. So if you want to drop off,
Oh,
feel
stop
free to
recording.
do
Stop
that.
recording so it doesn't make the recording too long.
Yeah. So